We had a lot of success with our first surveillance cam Goblin Welder combo deck, and it can be built in a variety of different ways. Today, a vintage challenge with a 4-color Lurrus Breach. Okay, welcome back, vintage gamers, to a Saturday vintage challenge. We had a lot of fun with our surveillance cam Goblin Welder infinite combo deck. Kind of was a hit on the internet. It's also a combination that's been appearing in a variety of formats now in different kind of incarnations at 5.0 and at least a Legacy League as well. And I really just enjoyed the gameplay. This cam being a tapping and untapping and sacrificing for draw. I've been very impressed with like the small things it can do in addition to being that blue artifact and our welder combination here. So something that, you know, was very evident in our last video was there are about 1 million different ways you can build this deck. There are about 1 million different cards you can play. The restriction is you need to have that fast mana. You need to have the welders and the cams, and then you need to hit a blue count for Force of Will. I really don't believe in a mono red like painter style deck in vintage. I've tried it 1 million times. You need a Force of Will to help get you through those tough combo matchups. So today I'm going to do a different way of building the deck. Not really a PO deck. You can ignore this PO. It was more filler than anything else here. This time we're going to try to play Turbo Volt Key. Turbo Volt Key is a deck list and style of deck building that has faded away a bit since the restriction of Urza Saga. Urza Saga was like the main reason the deck was very strong in 2024 or so. I even played an Oswald Fiddlebender PO Turbo Volt Key hybrid deck at an Eternal Weekend at Eternal Weekends for that year. So that's actually the style of deck we're going with here. We're going with a very classic style of Turbo Volt Key, reminiscent of Shere Khan and Sprouts and those kind of gamers. And this was a full 5-color list with a Haywire Mite. It's now only 4-color. But we're going to play a full 4 or 5-color Goblin Welder style strategy here with Lurrus instead. So what do we lose from our last build? Our last build had Emeries, and our last build had Tinker, Citadel, and Chaos Defiler. So we're going to lose out on those, and so we're going to very heavily focus on the Volt Key aspect, Time Volt Key, and of course our Goblin Welder Cam combo. So I've decided I don't really like Engineer when you don't have the Citadel combo. I feel like it's super restrictive, and I've never been very happy with Engineer as a card when you're not doing the combo. I think Oswald fits vintage a lot better. So I have this Oswald Toolbox Shell. Oswald is a card that can, of course, be untapped with Fiddlebender, but the biggest problem with Oswald is white mana. Cost white mana and then activates for white mana, just like the Engineer costs red mana and activates for red mana. White mana is a lot better than red mana in vintage. White mana is your Lurrus color. White mana is your removal color. So I actually really like being based like Esper and white, but I still need to be able to cast this Goblin Welder, which is how I've arrived at our 9 5-color lands. Now, I may have made a mistake here, and I may have picked the wrong 5-color lands. A Starting Town is not a card I have played very much with. This is a very expensive card, because I believe it must be played in Standard. It is a 5-color Spire-style card where it can make colorless or pay mana to make any color, but it only enters untapped in the first 3 turns of the game. I don't know how big of a drawback that is in Vintage. I assume it's minor, but still a reasonably sized drawback, and I figured like Spire Town, which is colorless, and then you can pay 1 life to make mana of any color only if you have an artifact, would be a better on average card for the deck. But you really do need that color on turn 1. So I could be wrong here. This is just what I went with. I'm going to play the full 4 Talon Gates because, again, we are Turbo Volt Key. Our plan is to win with Volt Key, so we need to remove any obstacles that stop us from Volt Keying. That could be a Clarion Conqueror or, as such. So we have these portable holes, which, again, play really well with our white mana base and Oswald. And we have these Talon Gates. The mana here might be wrong. It might be too sketchy, but that's what I'm going to try to go with here. It's possible I need to include like more opals, but like sometimes you just don't draw 3 artifacts. Sometimes I don't draw 1 artifact because I'm not Shere Khan. What I have done here is, made an Opal mana base. I've extended the number of Mishra's Baubles. One, because we're playing with Lurrus, and two, because you do need an artifact in the yard to start your Welder Cam combo. And when you lose your Engineer and your Emery, you're losing a lot of the ways you put artifacts into the yard. Obviously, we can sack our Cam, but that costs a lot of mana, and so it can be kind of tough. Our toolbox suite is extensive. It is one of the cooler parts of this deck, but it's also one of the parts of this deck that make it very hard to deck build, because you need to include all your lands and all your mana rocks and your welders and your cams and your blue cards for force, and then somehow also fit in a toolbox that is all you want. I really like Bauble and Lantern. Again, these are artifacts that can go into the yard to start your welder loop. Lantern is going to give you a really nice game and a draw engine against graveyard-based decks. I've included a Needle, so we actually have a really nice game one against Dredge with Needle and Lantern and the ability to tutor for it. But the bigger reason for Needle is actually not bizarre. It's just having a nice clean one-ring answer with so much Raker in the format. I've included a Skateboard because I do think that being able to give Oswald or a Goblin Welder haste is strong, but I don't know that it's necessary. And if there's any spot that I think is like maybe suspect in this toolbox, it's this one. A top is just an all-around really strong card, a way to filter late game draws, and good with Welder and Cam as a draw your deck. And then I also kept the Legion Intruder that was really good for us in the last one because it is your infinite damage combo. It can pick off hate pieces and wins very nicely through Null Rod, and I think the sacrifice ability is actually quite reasonable. So I was actually really impressed with this card, so we're keeping that. There are way more cards that fit this role of artifact that is good with Welder and Toolbox, but these are the ones we chose for today. Some other common ones: we don't have a Grinding Station because we no longer have an Emery, and also that card is like pretty much for lower power formats. We don't have an Agatha's Soul Cauldron because our number of creatures is just super low. There are lots of different cards that fit there. Round out that toolbox with the Demonic Tutor on top, and then the hard part here is fitting enough blue spells to reliably cast Force of Will. Does this deck reliably cast Force of Will? Not super reliably. We're at 20, which is the low end of what I like for a reliable Force of Will cast, but is certainly slightly higher than like the absolute minimum. I was hoping for 22, but I just could not make it happen. So what do? I have obviously the 4 sewer cams, and I have the power, and I have forces. How do I fill out the rest of the deck list? You can play POs, stock ups, Lorien revealeds, dress downs, and counters, basically. But I'm not currently doing an island basic mana base, so I don't have Lorien reveals in my deck. Now, maybe that's wrong. Maybe I'm just supposed to play, 2 volcanics, 2 volcanics, 3 tundras, and an underground sea, or something crazy. But I'm not going to do that. So no Lorien revealed. So then I have to fill up the rest. I think Spell Pierce is the metagame call for a 1-mana counterspell. I think Flusterstorm is better in this deck because it helps push through our combos better. But I think the way the current metagame is situated, I like the idea of Spell Pierce a little bit more. I've included Pierce and Probe and Misstep as blue. It's just free blue cards that are. I mean, I do think Misstep is good in this deck. Probe is okay. Dress Down is a Lurrusing looping card that's going to help turn off like Clarion Conquerors and that kind of thing. Maybe. Unfortunately, it won't turn. It'll also turn off my Goblin Welder, so it's not as synergistic with the Goblin Welder based combos. But it's this at the core of this deck is still going to win with Vault Key, Farm War. That's going to win with Welder Cam. And then I think Stock Up is just like a generic way to round out this list and give you extra consistency and redundancy without actually needing as much mana as something like PO. I did put in a PO that we can like maybe tutor for and use, but I'm not. If I could find a better blue card for this slot, maybe a Sinking to Stupor is better than a PO here, as it gives you extra lands. I don't think Sinking to Stupor casts very much, unfortunately, which is why I'm playing like a Caracas instead of it. But maybe this could be like a Sinking to Stupor instead. It's really just like a fill in the blank blue slot. And that's why. And then I guess the final question here is if you're asking why are we having 3 Goblin Welders, because Goblin Welder was the last card cut in this deck. I'm a little worried that Goblin Welder is a little hard to enable with the fewer ways to get cards into the graveyard with no Engineer and no Emeries. And then obviously I just don't think Welder's like that strong on its own. So I'm going to try 3 Welders and 2 Fiddlebenders in this build with a Lurrus as a way to bring them back and see if that is a better way to go about it. Is this deck better than the last deck we played? Maybe, maybe not. It's different. It does a lot of things differently. I'm sure it has a very different matchup spread. It should be interesting to see how it plays out today. I assume this deck will be a little bit more grindy, but also have some quick, like more access to quick fast wins with Time Vault Key. Sideboard is pretty generic. I haven't really tuned it as much, but I have the full swords for mono whites and frogs, including an additional portable hole. This will be especially good against frog decks where I want to board out Force of Will. I don't really want to play Force of Will as much as I kind of, it's more of like I kind of have to play Force of Will against things like Jewel and that kind of thing. So swords and portable hole comes in. I also included the planes to help us have a searchable land for the decks that are doing that kind of interaction, as well as be able to just like reliably continue casting swords in those matchups. I have a couple heavy hitters because we are a demonic tutor deck. Serenity, it does not play well with our artifacts, but I don't think that's a problem because I'd really like being able to wipe a sphere-based shops deck off the map and then rebuild with our Lurrus is totally feasible. So I have a Serenity here as a heavy hitter for sphere shops. I don't have a Merchant Scroll in my main, so because I don't really have like a lot of blue instants, so I don't have like a Hurkyl's Recall to search for. I have one over encumbered instead of something like a Tabernacle because I didn't actually choose to play the Vampiric Tutor. This kind of deck in the past has played the Vampiric Tutor. It's like a little hard to play Vampiric Tutor right now with the number of fair blue decks, and it's also just another one of your non-blue flex slots that is like really hard to justify. So instead, I'm going to play this over encumbered here because I don't think the Tabernacle is as good without the Vamp. It's just going to additionally facilitate an additional angle against the Dredge decks where I have like the Bazaar and Graveyard portions fairly covered, but the Hollow One portion not as much. So I have that over encumbered. I have a pile of Mindbreak traps here to help us push through the Jewel matchup and those like true combo decks. The reason these are Mindbreak traps and not something like Negation is because our blue count is just simply not high enough to support that. So I'm going to play a bunch of traps to hope to facilitate the getting us to further turns in the game versus those combo decks. I have a Null Rod because I think with Welder and Fiddlebender we have the ability to like get rid of our Null Rod when we don't need it anymore. But Null Rod is a super haymaker versus Raker and Jewel, and a card that we can theoretically play around. We can even win with our Welder Cam Intruder through our own Null Rod if we really want to. So I actually think that this Null Rod is quite a powerful one of Silver Bullet. And then, of course, an additional needle, because I do think you kind of want two needles in the matchups where you really like needle. So an additional needle and a Tormod's Crypt is a looping anti-graveyard card. So pretty well thought out. I think the biggest things we're going to be looking at during our matches are how easy is it for us to assemble Welder combos? How much are we getting disrupted on our Vault Key? And is this the right way to fix our mana base? And do we have enough blue cards? I will see you in this Vintage Challenge for 6 rounds of Welda action. High stakes, proxy friendly paper Vintage returns to the US in 2026. The legendary NYSE will be back June 6th in New York, and the Oklahoma Land Run returns July 10th through 12th in Oklahoma City. More details still to come. I hope to see you there. Round 1. I have a cat. We're back. We're back to cat life. We have a starting town in our opening hand. This hand is not very good against mono white. If it is mono white. Unclear. Unclear. Let me just take a quick check. Oh, I'm not on the play. I'm on the draw for 1. We don't know that it's mono white, but there was no Lurrus reveal. Could be Raker. I feel like he could play Raker. It's tough to put back Sapphire, right? But it's not great against a Void Mirror either. And it doesn't really do anything powerful, so I am thinking this one's going back. This doesn't look much better. This does not look much better. We get rid of Bauble, I guess. No, I mean, we get rid of P. We drew the 1 PO twice. don't really want PO unless I have all of Moxen. Which is kind of why we're not playing PO. Oh boy, I don't like these are these. Maybe I should just kept the first hand that didn't do anything, because now I have this hand that doesn't do anything either. Like this has a portable hole, so on turn 2, theoretically, I could answer a Void Mirror, but the Void Mirror's not even really stopping me right now. I have a Talon Gates to 1 turn answer a creature, but like I'm not putting together, again, I'm not putting together a powerful play, so it doesn't really like help. I think I'm just gonna mulligan this one too. Okay. Somehow I feel like this is my best hand. We'll see. I mean, maybe opponent's not even on. I mean, if they're on Raker, like, the same stuff holds true. Like, I'm not doing a powerful thing. I mean, the fact that my opponent is not on Lurrus means that I kind of am forced to, like, find a powerful draw. It's just a turn 1 Seasoned Engineer. I see. Well, nothing restrictive on turn 1, which is interesting. I could probably have gotten away with my first hand that had a cam to tap this down and wasn't doing anything powerful. Yeah. I feel like I'm gonna need the Talon Gates. I think I'm just gonna die to this Seasoned Engineer. If I had a force, I definitely would have forced it for clock reasons. Not have it. Yeah, maybe my first hand. My first hand would have been pretty good against this, but it's kind of hard to assume that your opponent is going to play turn 1 Seasoned Engineer. It's not really a play you want to have as the opponent's side of the table. And yeah, I don't really think that's going to be good for us. The problem is I'm just not racing this Seasoned Engineer, and I don't have a main deck removal spell for it. Like, my whole goal is going to be to, like, combo kill my opponent, but none of my hands had combo kills. Ah, never mind. It just doesn't matter. Okay. All right. Yeah, I mean, this was fast enough that, like, realistically, most of my powerful hands weren't, most of my hands, the 6 and 7 card hands were not good. I do think that if I had kept my 7 card hand, there might have been some possibilities in this game, because I would have been able to tap down the Seasoned Engineer for a little while, which maybe would give me enough time to put something together. But like, it's just like, you really just shouldn't be keeping 7 card do nothing hands, right? That's kind of the deal. I'm gonna bring in the basic planes, and I'm gonna bring in the Swords of Plowshares. And then we're gonna bring in the portable hole. And then I have to figure out how to take cards out against mono white. I don't know exactly how we're gonna do that. I want Lantern out. I probably want Opal out. I want Needle out. Yeah, I don't like. I think it's tough. I don't look to keep those kind of hands as mono white. However, if I was on like a frog deck with a Lurrus reveal, like I think, yeah, that's true. It's true. I think like so. Oh man, I want to take out blue cards is a problem. These forces are really shit. Maybe I should be just taking out. I just think Misstep is so bad. I don't know. Like, I think that hand's quite good against like mono, like a frog deck, but I'm not sure that I would like to keep that hand versus any of the other Lurrus decks. But I can't really predict what opponents are going to do. Like, certainly looks like a good mono white hand. Oh, I'm playing a turn 1 Seasoned Engineer. The deck's called Initiative, but realistically, like, if I had any kind of powerful draw, I would pretty easily win. I didn't. So, unfortunately, this stupid Clarion Conqueror does stop my welders, which is annoying. I think I need a top here. This puts me at like 18 blue cards. That's gonna be a problem all day, is like how many blue cards we have. If I do this, we're at 18, which is really bad, but I don't think I was supposed to get rid of the forces, so post board game on the draw, we might have some Mindbreak traps in our deck, but I mean, I can't realistically cut more blue cards. So, all right. We're looking for powerful things. That is the problem here is this is. I mean, it's enough, I think. It's just like the demonic tutor doesn't do anything without another piece is the problem. Like our deck doesn't really have, it has like some ABs, but this hand doesn't have an A or a B in it. And I have Hardcast Force, which I'm probably just holding up because I don't think this Force is getting much better. It's probably an Ancestral, I agree. I think so. I'm going to give myself another draw step to see if we can find like an AB combo piece or some kind of direction and let me use this Force of Will. Definitely can't counter an Emerald here. I'd let a Void Mirror resolve. Definitely going to counter a Black Lotus here. Okay. Had some pretty solid opponent mono white 7s here. Oh, I don't know why these come in pairs every time. Unfortunately, I won't, with 2 Talon Gates as my 2 mana sources, I won't actually have the ability to play an Ancestral right away. Or a Swords right away, for that matter. Man. I wish my opponents could stop having so much power. Okay, that's acceptable. We're okay with that. Do they have another play? Double Void Mirror. Okay, that's fine. Those are basically dead cards here for against us at the moment. I can't. Ooh, should I remove the Mana Crypts? That's an interesting question. Is that a powerful enough play? I mean, this Portable Hole is probably not doing anything else unless they play a Null Rod. I think so. I'm gonna get rid of this Mana Crypt, and I'm gonna DT for an Ancestral. Like, I mean, it can't be anything else, right? Our mana is so bad that like it has to be Ancestral now. Like I can't really wait. This is like a much slower. Oh, they don't have any other mana source. Beautiful. Got him, finally. That's a hell of a good draw, too. All right, so I will filter this Talon into blue. Cast Ancestral. Spire, Talon, stock up Ruby we can't cast. Play an Oswald. And we are 2 turns away from Vault Key by turning the Jet into a key and the Hole into a Time Vault. We also have the ability to play Stock Up. We also win the game with Time Walk. Okay. So I will go Talon Gates. I mean, this worked out really well. Talon Gates. Blue mana. Time Walk. Jet into key. I guess I could have gone the other one first, maybe, so I have the extra jet mana. Oh, Caracas is pretty cool, too. And then turn the Portable Hole into a Time Vault. So this is kind of more of what I had in mind. Okay. So we were able to force the Lotus and then pinch them on mana, and the Void Mirrors didn't do anything. I liked that game. That game went a lot better. So now the problem is game 3 on the draw. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up these 3 Mind Break traps, and I'm going to board out a Pia, which is clunky. We'll board out these Spell Pierces, which are not good on the draw. I guess that doesn't actually help my blue count. How did I just get to a point where it doesn't even help my blue count? All right, well, those cards are definitely bad. I'm not that trap is particularly good. I think it's just okay. This Vexing Bauble is bad, though, so I can board in a blue card instead of a Vexing Bauble. Maybe we just play a Mental Misstep. Obviously, it doesn't hit very much, but it hits a Vexing Bauble and maybe Swords if my opponent brings in Swords. Like, after they've seen the Oswald stuff, they might keep Swords in. I feel like it's better than a Spell Pierce or a Probe or a PO, so I think it's acceptable. Okay, let's try this game 3 here. Let's see, come on, can I give me a nice 7 here that actually does something, please? All right. Cat. That hand is pretty sus. The Spire does not tap for mana on turn 1 if my opponent plays a Void Mirror. But I have Swords. With Swords, I mean, I had to keep this hand, I think. Maybe some of these Spire should have been starting towns. Are starting towns just better than Spire? I kind of thought that Spire was better than starting town, but maybe like when do games go past turn 3, right? Maybe I just have more. Come on, bro! Stop playing Mana Crypts. Okay, all right. That's fine. That is acceptable. I think they. Okay. That's really acceptable. We like that. How do I proceed from here? Another mana. I think I want to be able to stock up into Portable Hole here. I might want to go Spire, Lotus, Float of White, stock up, and see if I find a Portable Hole to take them off of Mana Crypt. I mean, it's only good if they don't have an Ancient Tomb. But if they don't have an Ancient Tomb, it's pretty good. And then I still have Talent Swords after my opponent goes Forge. I could go Goblin Welder, Lotus, go / stock up, and I would kind of need 2 removal spells to take the initiative, but I could take the initiative theoretically. I did bring in a Plains. The problem is like floating a red mana before lotusing is like quite bad. But I have to float a mana before I use my Lotus. I could just not use my Lotus and just play a Welder and see what my opponent does after. I'm just like a little worried. What's the worst case scenario there? Like a Clarion Conqueror, I have to Sword, but then I can still stock up after. Or I could even Talon Gates it and then stock up. The problem is I don't actually think I'm going to be able to steal the initiative is the actual problem, because I think my opponent's going to play a creature every turn for the rest of the game. I just don't know how good getting rid of Mana Crypt is. If my opponent has an Ancient Tomb, it doesn't do anything. If my opponent doesn't have an Ancient Tomb, then it's putting them back a whole turn. If I sword this White Plume Adventurer, then I end up with like no more swords or no more ability to play swords. It's like quite bad for me. It's super tough. I don't know the answer. I should probably play the Lotus before the Spire. I'm going to float a white and stock up. That was my gut instinct here. Time Vault, Sewer Cam, Misstep, stock up, and Talon Gates. Unfortunately, this Goblin Welder Infinite doesn't actually make me infinite mana because it's a Lotus. It's gonna still be... I mean, it could just be Time Vault, and I have a Saga. It could be Sewer Cam. I mean, I'm gonna have to Swords this White Plume because I already floated, unfortunately. I mean, it's definitely Sewer Cam. Is it Time Vault? I guess it's Sewer Cam, Time Vault, and that's just the way of things. And I have to Swords this. Which is not great, but does put them out of the going down Forge at least. Puts them down into the Lost Well. I currently can't make mana with this Spire. Which is not great either. No Moxen hands have been... My opponent's had mana crypts every game, and I don't have any Moxen. My deck kind of wants Moxen. It's fine. It's not really fine. We're in a weird mana spot. Kind of, I don't know. I'm just thinking like maybe I misevaluated and starting down is actually better than Spire, but I'm really not trying to keep hands that don't have artifacts. Yeah, Sewer Cam tapping down might be good depending on like what creatures my opponent plays is the problem, right? Here's a Plains that they tutored for, and here's an Archon. Okay, that's not too bad. Ancestral. Okay. So I kind of like Talon Gates, phase out Archon, go into an Ancestral and try to find artifacts. That will put me overdrawing, but... Oh, you're right. It enters tapped. That is a true statement. Fucking Archon's so good. I think in that case, we just play Saga then. Though I might be wanting to try to bait out a Wasteland. Man, Archon of Myria is so sick. I kind of needed to be Talon Gates though, don't I? Because like I kind of need to be able to Swords this. I mean, this is the problem with my floating Swords plan. Like I don't want to Swords the stupid initiative creature. I want to Swords the Archon, but I just like had to make a play, and I felt like it made more sense to float white, you know? We might just be on like Time Vault and Prey, which is unfortunate, but next turn if we like cast Time Vault and play Saga, I don't know. We don't have a lot of agency here, unfortunately. I don't think that stock up was very good for us. We were kind of hoping to see Moxen off the stock up so that we could build out our game plan, and we just saw nothing that was Moxen related. Didn't have to stock up, but okay, Ancient Tomb. So I think not hitting Portable Hole ended up being pretty good for us. And then my opponent doesn't have a Wasteland. And is this a... Oh no, is it a Witch Enchanter? Oh god, it's a Chancellor. Okay. That's actually not that big a deal. I think we can just phase it out, play a Time Vault, and pray. We might be okay. Unless they were holding a Wasteland and they just wanted to cast Chancellor. We could also make constructs, but I think that's kind of past the point, right? Because I can technically play a Soul Ring this turn after phasing out the Chancellor. I mean, I just pray that my opponent doesn't have a Witch Enchanter or a Wasteland. I take 7 and go to 10. I'm glad. Can we hold the Talon Gates? We can't, right? Because we can't play a Time Vault if we don't. Or I guess we could theoretically play the Time Vault on the next turn, is what you're saying? Oh, can we hold the Talon Gates? Maybe we can. Maybe we just play a Soul Ring this turn, and we play a Tolarian Academy. And the Tolarian Academy looks bad for my opponent. And that will give me a lot of mana to play the Time Vault next turn. That might be even better. Yeah, I think that's actually better. Chat advantage. If I could just make chat only not me, think about how strong it would be. I think I would have gotten there eventually, but we were just musing over this because it's our last play of the game, probably. Okay. I think I like this plan because the plan is essentially the same as what I came up with, except it's better against. So it's like worse. It's the same against Witch Enchanter. It's slightly better against Wasteland because my opponent might go for Talarian, and it's better against Clarion Conqueror. So I think it's just overall better. I'm still taking 7. There's a Catacombs. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to go. There's no Void Mirror. Okay. I'm going to go Soul Ring. Pay. Because this fixes the problem of like not having enough mana on the next turn as well. So, okay. We just have to see what opponent does this turn here with their stuff. They're not drawing any cards though, extra cards. They're full on damage, so we might be able to. And it's not like we naturaled this Time Vault key. We did have Saga, and we stock up for the Time Vault. I mean, this is the whole point of the deck. It's called Turbo Vault Key for a reason. The game is entirely about Vault Keys. So the things we're looking to dodge here are Wasteland and Witch Enchanter on Saga. Everything else looks covered. If my opponent plays another Chancellor, that looks covered. I think it's just Wasteland and Witch Enchanter, because I think we can beat... Oh god, is there March of the Otherworldly Light on Saga? That would be pretty bad. Another initiative creature could thrown into a hexproof creature. That's true. Can't do anything about that, though. Now they had the Witch Enchanter. So now we have to rip key. Damn. That is... Maybe they'll hit Soul Ring. Maybe they'll hit Soul Ring. Nah, fuck. Saga just can never win, man. Saga can just never win. We made a better play, though, so... Yeah, the rip key, I think, is our only out. Time Walk is good. We drew Mindbreak Trap. Okay, we don't technically die. Because we have Sewer Cam and Talon Gates, theoretically. So... If we play 3 mana Time Vault, and on their turn, we play 2 mana Sewer Cam, tapping down Chancellor. We go to 2. We could hold Talon Gates and have the only spell we cast on our turn be 2 mana Ancestral. If I play 2 mana Ancestral, the problem is, I mean, I can play 2 mana Sewer on their turn. I go to 9, I go to 1. Problem is, they're probably going to hit a Clarion Conqueror. So I kind of need to hold my Talon Gates. So the question is the play Ancestral or is the play Time Vault? I think it has to be Time Vault. Sewer Cam on their turn with the trigger on the stack. Go to 1, holding Talon Gates, and then ripping key. Oh, we can't hit the thing with it. Okay, you're right. It doesn't even work because we can't hit the hexproof creature. I think it's just cast Ancestral then. Because I don't think this Time Vault, Surveillance Cam, tap down, live a turn is actually good against looking at 10 cards and finding a Clarion Conqueror. But I can't win this turn anyways. Like, I guess technically I can Ancestral and then Talon Gates and then Time Walk. I could play Welder and Sewer and Cam, and then it does make infinite mana next turn. Yeah, but it still loses to the Clarion Conqueror. That's actually probably better than any Time Vault option. But I need to hold the Talon Gates for the Archon in that point, assuming my opponent hits. I mean, if my opponent hits 2 Archons, then what am I even doing there? Because infinite mana doesn't actually help me if I can't play more than 1 spell, or I can't activate my things. And also my Welder gets turned off to the Conqueror as well. All of these things. It also like opens up to Swords to Plowshares, which my opponent could have. It's all kind of bad. I also have to use the blue mana here, which I guess is fine. I guess I don't have to use the blue mana if I... No, I do. No, I do, because this thing will come and tap, and I need 2 mana on the next turn to play Surveillance Cam. I could also turn off Archon, play 3 mana Time Vault. It's like not good. Yeah, I could turn off Archon. No, that's not good. Oh, this doesn't make 2 mana. This only makes 1 mana. Oh, that's insanely bad for me. Okay. I think I'm going to play 3 mana Time Vault, and then I'm going to hold my Talon Gates, and I'm going to tap down the Chancellor, and I'm going to hope they don't hit anything bad. That Witch Enchanter was so bad for me. I'm doing this before the initiative in case my opponent plays like another Chancellor off of the initiative. Okay. It's my 1 spell, so 10 cards. They hit a second Archon. They did bring in Swords, by the way. So they actually missed almost entirely here. They hit Seasoned Dungeoneer Archon. So that means that they're only... Oh, wait, did they hit this Witch Enchanter too? I guess they hit the Witch Enchanter. So they can just Witch Enchanter the Time Vault. Okay, well, I tried, chat. I don't think any of my things are good against that. I guess it means not playing Time Vault out. Oh, wait, like this was like... I guess they would have killed Soul Ring and then I'd be super fucked anyways, right? Man, I think there's just too many interactive pieces. This is what I try to tell like people about. Like this mono white deck has lots of interactive pieces here. Damn. I could draw Time Walk and Goblin Welder, and then maybe something from there, right? They had an Archon in their hand. Okay, well. I mean, they didn't have a Clarion Conqueror though, so like theoretically, a Welder play might have worked here. Yeah, but now I can't play more than 1 spell a turn, so I think I just lose to that. Yeah. I have this Talon Gates, but it just doesn't do anything because there's so many creatures. I would need balance here, right? I didn't put balance in my deck because I have creatures. I don't know if it's good anymore, but I could have played balance. Like a balance here would be quite good. Oh, dress down. I have dress down in my deck. Oh wow, I could have been drawing to dress down as well. I wonder if that changes my order at all. I think I'm dead, but I'll just cast an ancestral just to see. But I don't think there's any way I can really do anything from this spot. I think my opponent had a bit too much. Yeah, man, portable looks really shit here. All right. I think that's it. I think I don't have any more plays. Okay. It was close. I feel like this game was super close. Lots of ways it could have gone. Kind of want to look at it some more. Man, losing to mono white sucks, but it's tough when we had to basically forfeit game 1 with our keep on 5. Let's take a quick peek here. Let's take a quick peek. All right, game 1. My 7 looks pretty bad, all things considered, but it might have worked against my opponent's hand because they're not restrictive at all for whatever reason. So we would have gotten to draw, then time walk with Cam, and maybe play like a haste infinite mana with a welder. Maybe I actually this looks totally keepable the more I think about it. The reason this is not keepable is because you expect your mono white opponent to follow the heuristics of playing a hate bear on turn 1, but they didn't do that, and it rewarded them, I think, in game 1. I think in game 3 it did, it ended up rewarding them because I played the swords. But if I had like a better hand, it would have been very, very bad for my opponent. Or like if I stock up just hit better. I think it was like pretty dicey in game 3. But I mulligan this, which I can see myself doing again. Like it doesn't do anything. It does have mana though. Actually makes me really think about maybe the starting town is better than Spire. I guess Spire would have been better here because I would have had Sapphire. So, but I guess if I get Void Mirrored, it's not exactly the case either. So it's a little bit here, a little bit there. This 6 was terrible, like definitely a terrible 6. And then our 5 was just mana. They played turn 1 initiative creature, which I think is, it's not a very common play. But I, just did not have a follow-up. And their follow-up wasn't another hate bear. So it makes me think they kept a 7 here that didn't have a hate bear. I mean, I guess Witch Enchanter is kind of a hate bear. And if they think that killing because they're going to, here they went for kill the jet, kill the Caracas, which I guess makes perfect sense. There's really no, when you've already played your like supercharged Delver on turn 1, it makes perfect sense to just play the 2 wastelands. Yeah. I don't know. I think the one thing to consider in this game, I guess I would have gotten, theoretically, maybe I get my Sapphire killed. But yeah, I mean, it's just about this keep. I'm not sure. Game 2, I think was a great game for us. Like it showed a pretty nice path forward here. They had a really strong hand in that they had Mana Crypt and Lotus and Void Mirrors, but then they didn't really have follow-up after we portable hold the Mana Crypt, which bought us time to just almost didn't even need time. We needed them to break 1 turn before we 2 turns, I guess, and then we walked in 1. That's interesting. Okay, and then there was this game 3 where we're definitely keeping our hand. It's just this initial decision, right? Okay, so my opponent doesn't, has Mana Crypt, so they have a turn 1 play, but their turn 1 play is not restrictive. So like, the biggest departure in this game would be if I make red mana with my Spire instead. And I think I was wrong, right? Because like, I don't want to swords this. I always want to swords a hate bear. So it doesn't really make sense to float white mana. I know why I floated white mana, because I wanted to be able to maybe portable hold this Mana Crypt and give myself a bunch of time to establish because all I need in this game is time to build out and play. And I think casting stock up is correct because when my opponent shows me they don't have a hate bear on turn 1, I need to start like deploying and making, utilizing my deck's mana advantage and power. But I think if I could do this again, It's just so hard to like play Welder here when I don't think the Welder's not turned on right away, right? Even if I have like a sewer combo on turn 2, I don't make infinite mana because it's Black Lotus and not a Mox. So it's like, yeah, I'm like, Swords isn't bad, but like, doesn't Swords like realistically need to be hitting Hate Bears to win? I mean, not really, because I have a Talon Gate, so like, it doesn't actually have to be because I have the ability to turn off their things. Just like having a Welder in play this game might have been a huge deal. Like maybe making them like use their white mana for Swords might have been a huge deal. It doesn't feel wrong. It just feels like there's like so many different paths that could happen from here. And then I think that this stock up is really bad. Like this stock up needs to be like, it needs to be better, right? I mean, it gave me a clear path forward with Time Vault, which is nice, and Cam. But like this Cam is a lot better. It's not like a lot better with my Welder if I have the Welder in play, but it would be better if I had the Welder in play. At the very least, it means I can tap down a creature every turn, right? At least tap down a creature every turn. Yeah. Yeah. But like making this thing not go down Forge Trap is a win. It is a win for sure. It's just really hard to imagine that this Welder is good. In a general sense, playing here. Where like I think a white mana is always fine. But a white, yeah. Where a white mana just is always fine. We don't know which way they went on the scry. I wasn't really paying attention because I don't think it mattered much, but I probably should have looked at that. And then I go to this turn where I have Ancestral. So technically, yeah, so this is like a spot where Starting Town would have been a lot better than Spire, right? Because I had to use my Lotus and it wasn't a Mox, I don't have the blue mana here for Spire. Which is a huge problem, because if I have the blue mana for Spire, I can at least cast an Ancestral this turn, whereas now I just can't. This is, I guess, a reason why you might not want to stock up on turn 1 and just keep that Lotus in play, give yourself some more options. You know? Like, what I could do here, instead of doing stock up, is just pass. Let my opponent forge if they want to, see, take a 5-shot, see what creature they play, Swords whatever creature they play, untap on my turn where I still have the ability to Spire, I still have the ability to Black Lotus. It's really hard not to cast stock up here when I have the go-ahead, where my opponent hasn't restricted me from doing anything. And like I can hit really powerfully off this. Like you can hit things like the Mox, the like Mox plus Ancestral or like Time Walk or even an Oswald with a Mox on turn 1 here is like super, I guess it's not super threatening, but like a Mox is really what I want here. I want to be able to play a Mox before my opponent plays a Void Mirror or something like a Void Mirror. If they had a Void Mirror, would they have played it on turn 1 here? Probably, right? So maybe it's a pretty reasonable thing to assume there's no Void Mirror and I don't actually need that stuff right away. And maybe because we benefited really heavily by waiting on this game with our Black Lotus, but I didn't really have. I did have a play, right? I could Demonic for stock up, I could Demonic for Ancestral. Like those were plays I could have made. So maybe the real answer here is just like play the Lotus and pass. And that means like I draw shit, right? I don't know which order this is in. If it's Mental Misstep I draw, it's really, really bad for me. Plays badly into Witch Enchanter. It plays. I guess I don't have the Ancestral, so it does play badly into Witch Enchanter. It plays very badly into Witch Enchanter, that's true. So I draw, this is like, I think I win this game if my land's a Starting Town though, right? Because on this turn, I can play Saga and Ancestral on their turn. Maybe? I don't know. If I'm opening this turn here with what? Soul Ring... It's Soul Ring, Mindbreak Trap, and whatever I draw on this turn, Jet. So if I'm opening on this turn with Soul Ring, Mindbreak Trap, Jet, does that help me? I guess it doesn't actually help me very much. Does that help me very much? Soul Ring, Mindbreak Trap, Jet on this turn. If I turn off the Archon, then I can play 2 mana for 1 mana. This Chancellor is a little restrictive here. I'm not actually sure that helps me very much. If I Ancestral into Swords, then there's a huge difference. So, but should probably keep that possibility of well, like if I have a swords here, 2 mana swords on this, it definitely helps me a lot. Welder can only return if I have something else to weld in. So if I play Welder on turn 1 and I later draw, a Moxen or a Sewer Cam or something, then yes. Though, it's not like it's not by itself like a crazy value proposition. So that's like, I wasn't really expecting Welder to be particularly good in this game because I don't have like the Moxen to really support a great play with it. Like if I had a Mox, then I have Welder Cam, and then I'm like really incentivized to have played Welder. I do think going back here, like if I had to play this game again with the knowledge, not with hindsight, but with like better knowledge here, I think I would have floated red mana and played Welder. And it would have been a completely different game because my opponent's probably going to go Forge, hit me for 5. Next turn, they're going to trap me. And like I'm under a huge clock, and I'm probably like swordsing the Archon instead of swordsing the other thing. Like I'm actually not sure that I win the game that way if I have a Welder instead of using my swords, because I actually don't have an artifact with this Welder, so it's still really bad. I can't actually cast this swords off the Spire. The whole thing here is like the bigger thing that's eating at me here is like maybe I should be forward starting town in 1 Spire or some kind of split or something. Anyways, but yeah, we came up with good lines. If I have, if I have starting town and I play a Welder and the next turn I have a swords up and then I swords the thing, and it's not a win, right? Because it's just because Lotus is not infinite mana is like the biggest problem with that. It doesn't actually just win the game on the spot because Lotus, it's infinite looping, but the looping doesn't do anything. What it does do is makes me 3 blue mana to cast Ancestral, which finds me a Jet, which probably wins. Oh, you mean like not casting Black Lotus or not using Black Lotus? I don't know. Either way. I don't know. I'm not like upset with this game at all. I think this was a hard game to play. We took our time and we made some pretty good lines. Interesting games for sure. Okay, welcome to round 2. I think round 1 was quite eventful. I'm pretty happy with it. So let's see how we can do in round 2 here. We lost the die roll again. This time we're playing a Lurrus Mirror. And by mirror, that's a very loose term because we don't know what kind of Lurrus deck opponent's on. They can be combo, aggro combo, aggro, control aggro, control combo. Lurrus just basically means they're likely to be blue, and they do not have 3 mana plus permanents. 3 and plus permanents. My hand does not function, so I'm going to mulligan. This hand is not good, but I am keeping it. Let me get rid of this PO. Rather have lands in case my opponent's on the frog version. Tundra, Bauble. That's fine. We can unlock it whenever we need to. Black-white signals that they are likely blue. True. I'm gonna get this Talon Gates in play now and then pass. I don't think I want to go Karakas Portable Hole right away, especially if they follow up with like a frog, because I want to be able to Portable Hole the frog. That would be more important. Lurrus is a blue card. It just means you're either blue-black or blue-white or blue-black-white. And sometimes it just means you're blue-red and you don't really cast your Lurrus. It's kind of funny how it is like that. Hey, I mean, there's no one to lead the mono-white legions, Grim. We need you back to play mono-white Lurrus. We haven't had a mono-white Lurrus. It's really hard to play mono-white Lurrus when mono-white initiative exists, but mono-white initiative is on a downturn. It could be time to bring back MacD and the spiders. It's really initiative is the reason that mono-white Lurrus aggro doesn't exist. Because I think mono-white Lurrus aggro has a pretty good place in the surrounding, like, matchups in the surrounding metagame, but the straightforward, the initiative matchup is just so hard. All right, opponent has a Saga Gaming here. Unfortunately, Portable Hold can't get Saga. Man, I wish I could play Oswald and Saga this turn. Talon Gates is getting me again. If I had played Caracas on turn 1 instead of Talon Gates, I played Talon Gates because I was kind of playing around like Wasteland, right? If I had played Caracas on turn 1, I could have played Saga and Fiddlebender here and been pushing towards a Vault Key right away. I do think that putting my Fiddlebender down on right here is good, though, so I'm going to do that. That's another hard part. That's true. Everyone plays removal now because of initiative, so creature-based decks are worse. That's true. Mono black Lurrus with Shredder. I don't know if you have like enough disruptive elements to do that without grief. Kinda. But it's possible. Like, Thoughtseize is still Thoughtseize. Maybe with Void Mirrors and Null Rods and Thoughtseizes, it's enough. I wasn't ever very impressed with grief in the scam mono black decks, so I don't know. I think there's a lot of space in Vintage to experiment and a lot of room for decks to be good. And I kind of find that it's just missing players and it's missing innovators. There's not that many people building. You know, kinda to his credit is one of the big builders. Me, Sean. You know, Shere Khan hasn't been playing as much. Shere Khan was a pretty big builder for the format. All right, my opponent looks like they're going Saga Angle here. I still don't know if they're on like Blue, White, or Esper, or Pio. Welda. Welda. All right, I have lots of options here. I can make red mana. I can time walk. I think I like Saga Walk here. Obviously, it means I'm not doing anything with my Fiddlebender, but I don't really have Moxen again. I feel like that's a big problem so far, is I have not had opening hands with Moxen. But I don't think I should be mulliganing more aggressively for them, so. My deck is like truly at its best when I have opening Moxen, so it's tough. It's very tough. I guess like tapping this Krakus will open my opponent up to swords. I guess I was tapped out anyways. They could have swords me last turn. I think my opponent's on a fair deck because I see Brainstorm and 2 Tundras like makes me lean towards it's a fair deck. Don't know if my opponent, like, you can actually build a really cool, like, mono, not a mono blue, but a blue-white Lurrus, like, Wan Shi Tong fair deck as well. So there's a lot of options still available. If they Spell Pierce this and don't make a construct, I think it's probably a win. So I'm going to go Time Walk. It's a very valuable Time Walk, obviously. I have a Saga. Taking a Saga faster means I accelerate to the point where I'm making Sagas near the same speed as them. And my Sagas should eventually be bigger than theirs, I would think, because I should have more artifacts in my deck. Especially after I Portable Hole something. Oh, they're going to crack Vexing Bauble in response. So they looking to maybe force this? Interesting. Swords my Fiddlebender. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. They have a Spell Pierce or a Flusterstorm? That would be the big over-the-top haymaker here. That puts them in a better spot. No. All right, so we're at least still sagaing. Like, losing Fiddlebender is not great, but I think it's okay. We hit another mana source, which is actually fantastic. Except I can't make red mana. No, I have an artifact. I can make a construct and then make a welder. I was like, again, I just have no artifacts. Like normally, I when I made this deck with 4 Spires, I envisioned that I would have Moxen in most of my games. Is that a reasonable thing to say? How many Moxen? Like, I have 11 0-drop artifacts. What percentage of games will I have no 0-drop artifact in play? I don't know. Maybe I'm way maybe I'm not evaluating this the right way, but 100% of games. Okay. I'm going to make a construct here to give me an artifact, and then I'm going to use the Spire to play a welder. I still have Force Up. We'll see. My opponent can absolutely still be PO. Like, Brainstorm is a card you can absolutely play in PO. Swords is still a card you can play in the main of PO. So we don't know that opponent is on a fair or unfair, you know. Even saying that, like, Jeskai PO is a fair deck is kind of, or an unfair deck is not exactly true. It definitely leans more towards control than it does to combo sometimes. All right, Black Lotus. Looks like they might just go for Lurrus then. Pearl, Lotus, Lurrus, Basic Island. 4 cards in my opponent's hand. So they can actually go Lurrus, play Bobble. Oh, okay. So it is Esper Frog. We have that covered with... I'm surprised they're going to just play a frog here. That means they play 2 frogs here. Or maybe they're just going to Lurrus with the extra mana. They might stock up if they're playing a bunch of Moxen. They could cast Cruise. Twister. Okay, I will force Twister. I don't think that's good for me. If they force back, then it's fine. That's just fine. 2 cards in my opponent's hand. Twister. Frog Twister, huh? Interesting. I like my spot without Twister resolving because I have a portable hole answer to Frog and I have a Saga still going off and I'm tutoring with my Saga here. I can go Soul Guide Lantern. Fiddlebender, interesting. What do I want? Soul Guide Lantern, Key, Needle, Mana. I can go Lotus and then go for Lurrus, but I don't think it's very well protected. I do run into like possible Spell Pierce on my portable hole, but I don't think that's actually a big deal because I have the Welder. All right, I think no matter what, I'm not making a red mana this turn, so I think I just do Construct and let's search. I'm thinking a Lantern and just like hitting my opponent's Lotus and Bobble and stuff. Does Skateboard win the game? Why would Skateboard win the game? Am I missing something? You want like Skateboard equip Fiddlebender? I don't think so, right? Because I still need to activate twice. And I'm pretty worried my opponent has more removal, chat. I'm like really worried my opponent has more removal. I think Skateboard like certainly has some value here, but I think making a construct is better. My plan here is make a construct, portable hole the frog, and attack their Lurrus. I guess I didn't buy Lurrus yet. I mean, I can't. If I don't make a construct, I could get a thing, play a Oswald, equip Oswald, and activate it. But then I don't have any, like, I don't get anything, right? Because I mean, it would win on the following turn, but I don't know. I think just making constructs is safer here. I think we have a pretty concrete game plan. We still have a Lurrus available to us. I think our spot is just better, is kind of how I'm feeling about it. Sensei's top key. I'm gonna get this Lantern. I'm gonna Lantern away the Black Lotus. I think the Black Lotus is slightly better than the Bauble at this point. You're right. I could construct into a camera. I'm gonna run out of white mana, I believe, if I do that. That's one of the problems with like the camera and the Fiddlebender, or the camera and the engineers. They require a lot of white mana. But you are right. There's like some plays to be made by turning a construct into a cam. But I think we'll get there eventually. So the good thing here is if my opponent has a negation, it's bad for me, right? But if my opponent has like a pierce or a force, last 2 cards are blue card negation. The last 2 cards were negation. All right, so this doesn't go to my yard, so I can't weld it back into play. So what I could do is I can crack the Lantern and make it so the frog can't fly. Why did my opponent concede? I think I don't know why my opponent conceded. I think I have to crack this lantern so to make my frog can't fly, so I won't attack, and I'll be able to block. And then next turn I can like play the Oswald, and the Oswald can go get up a portable hold the turn after that. I'm talking with him in chat, so I'm not sure. I mean, I took a lot of time to make these choices, but I didn't take that much time. Oh, I don't know. I do know is we have a plan for this board matchup, or I'm going to bring in portable holes, swords to plowshares, planes. Then I'm going to take out forces. And then I'm going to take out... I kind of like access to lantern and needle. I don't think I need... Oh, I think these spell pierces are terrible. Yeah, this is actually really nice, clean forces and pierces out for a bunch of removal into planes. I like that. Yeah, I mean, it's not good that they like can't attack with frog right away, but it's not bad. Like, they're not losing on board, and they have a Lurrus still. I don't think that... I think I'm... You know, it's a winning spot for me. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm favored from that spot, but like my opponent can just draw Ancestral Cruise, and or I guess not Cruise because I have a lantern, but Ancestral into whatever, and I just lose, right? Like Ancestral into... then I can't even block the stupid frog, and you basically, unless something like bad is happening in real life, I don't think you ever really want to concede that spot as the frog player. It's certainly a place you can win from. Last two cards, blue card negation, huh? So if I were to have gone no construct, 1 mana, skateboard, Oswald for white, keep Oswald, what? I just can't make enough white mana to like go all the way, but like the Oswald skatebender like win on the next turn is quite good, right? Like Oswald skateboard win on the next turn, like it puts my opponent in a big position. Like the problem is like that line is only better if my opponent has no removal, right? And it's hard to make the judgment that my opponent's on blue card negation and not on like removal. I'm not really sure. I think like having 2 constructs and playing a longer game there is favorable for me. It's kind of why I assume opponent like didn't like the spot and quit. It's unclear. I don't really know. Hey, look, see, this is what I was intending. Mox, Spire, white mana, black mana, blue mana. Okay, at least I'm not crazy. Like, these hands do exist. Though I must say, like, I might just be... Starting Town might just be better than Spire. I didn't really realize that. And, like, there are games that go longer than turn 3, but, like, the first 3 turns are the turns that are the most important. So, if I had to do this again, maybe I would just, like... I might not cut all the spires. I might cut like 2 spires and a Talon Gates, or like, I think 4 Talon Gates I've learned is just like too many Talon Gates. It's so good, but like I don't know. We'll have to reconvene at the end of the game and see like what we think about these lands. I'm under no illusion that these lands may be suboptimal, and I just like don't have it. I personally don't have very much deck building experience in this like 5-color space. And there's like not very many workable lists to draw from, so I don't want to get dazed, but I also don't want this to get spell pierced. It's kind of a rough thing here. I think I'm supposed to get dazed because this like makes my spell pierce look way too appetizing. I don't think the life total is a huge deal. But I do think like the option it is a deal though. Like we played against mono white in round 1, like our life total mattered, right? I got spelled. Oh, I got consigned. Okay, I think I would have gotten consigned no matter what. I mean, at least I don't have a Glimmer Void. But I can't make colors of any manas of any color here because I don't have another artifact. So I don't know. I don't know. If I lose this game, just like never making a color of mana, it'd be crazy. Starting Town would be better. I mean, I'm starting to think that Starting Town would have been incorrect. My opponent has had a better time starting with artifacts than I have. Sure. All right. There we go. Look at that. Boom. All kinds of mana. Oh, no, I can't cast it because of Bauble. All right. Well. Bro, like... Shirkan used to play this deck with 4 Spire, 4 Glimmer Void. Like, there's no way it's this bad. I think he's just... Am I just built... Like, I just can't keep a hand with multiple Moxen? Like, is that... I'm not allowed? I guess I'm just gonna die. I should have led with Ruby, not with Spire. Might have been able to get away with it. Man, I don't know. Don't know. This hand should be reasonable, right? I guess technically a Glimmer Void would have been able to cast Portable Hole, so it would have been better. Even a Talon Gates would make mana here. I still don't think this game is lost, like, but it's not in a good spot anymore. No, there's a reason that, like, you don't want to just, like, if I thought that these cards were worse, were worse than playing City of Brass and Man of Confluence, I would have played those cards. Like, the life total is a huge relevant point in Vintage, right? Oh, come on, game. Life total is highly relevant in Vintage, and, like, I just don't think, like, the number of games I have 0 artifacts is very high, but what do I know, man? Maybe I know nothing. I have 3 removal spells in my hand, and I can then repeatedly use the Portable Holes with Welders later, like, I hate this game, man. This only happens to me. This doesn't happen to anyone else, man. No one, never have I heard anyone else have this problem. I have to go to such great lengths to avoid these, like, high variance scenarios that apparently just no one else has an issue with these. I see people playing the most absurd mana bases, just like on the regular. What? How does this not come back and bite you? But me, everything bites me. All right. I guess we have to play game 3. I mean, to be fair, our opponent conceded in a completely neutral game position in game 1. So 1 free win, 1 free loss. Once again, this hand does not have any mana in it. I will mulligan. Okay. Beautiful. I like this hand. I don't think I want this extruder card here. I just want all these mana sources. Ancient Grudge. Yeah. All right. Mox Pearl. Counter it. I might not be able to play any cards after. Like, tapping this for, like, losing a life every time, tapping this, like, when I don't need to, it is detrimental. And, like, there's a reason I'm trying to play these other cards instead. Flooded Strand. Sundra. Sword's my Fiddlebender. Yep. Okay. By Lurrus. Brainstorm. Ancestral. I'm just not as good. That's what I've learned. I'm just bad at Magic. I want Ancestral. It's fine. Certainly it should be. Hey, starting town right before it's not tapped. Love that for us. But it's like kind of better to... I'll take the damage, man. Whatever. I just like losing that game two. That I feel like game two was actually a really nice spot. Like we had infinite removal. It just couldn't cast anything. And we had 2 lands, so 3 spires in a row. Another source. Yeah, I think it's gonna have to be. Maybe it's just like 4 starting towns. I don't know. I feel like if you want to play the welder stuff, you kind of need that kind of crazy mana base. And I don't even know that the welder stuff is like even good. Like playing Esper or Oswald is probably just better than playing welder stuff, but welders are pretty cool, so. We're so dead, man. Our opponent resolved Ancestral Recall. How are we ever gonna win this game? Yep. Probably supposed to play around like a bunch of stuff removal wise here, so I'm gonna go to their turn before swordsing this thing. Play around Spell Pierce. They want a hard cast negation, that's fine. They have 4 cards left in hand. All right. Pretty sure, unless they play a frog, that I'm going to... I guess there's no reason. Yeah. I'm just going to play Dress Down. I guess if I just run into the Spell Pierce I've been trying to play around like an idiot. I guess that's the problem with that play. Oh, I guess this is a reason to keep the Dress Down in for a full turn versus possible Bowmaster. So maybe I should have just gone end step Dress Down. I didn't think about the ability to draw another draw spell. I'll take 1 life, I guess, to play this probe. See if I get Bowmastered for my mistake. Yep. All right. Well, I immediately got punished for my mistake. It's good. Opponent has Spell Bomb, second Bowmaster, and the Spell Pierce. So they could have Spell Pierced the Dress Down if they wanted to. All right, well, I guess I'm dead. I don't really know. Pretty sure this is just death. It's just like, how am I going to compete with an Ancestral? I need an Ancestral of my own. I feel like I have a lot of bad cards to draw to from this spot, too. Just gonna get double Bowmastered, then Lurrus. Yeah, get the extra damage in. Now if I draw Ancestral, like I'm super bad to cast, so. Yeah, I definitely picked the wrong Dress Down timing. That was wrong. Oh, they're gonna leave it up? They want to hold up Spell Pierce, I guess. Mistress Bauble. It's so bad. It's so bad. I can't do anything about this. I think I just have to crack it because I'm so far behind. I'm just going to play Bowmaster. I'm going to take a Bajillion. They're drawing Needle. Yeah, I mean, they had turn 1 consign my Mox. I mean, it's my fault, right? Like, I should have led Mox and hope they didn't consign it. Like, I sequenced badly, and so I got punished. But yeah, whatever. I take less damage if I do it later. Yeah, I would take 2 less damage. I don't think it changes the math very much. Actually, it would have given me a whole extra turn. Okay, that's super bad, too. Are they not going to play the Needle? Oh, we can win this game still. That's cool. Destructive. Interesting. Cost me 2 life. Okay. All right. Before they, I know their hand is Lurrus, Spell Pierce, Nihil. I don't know one card. What card do I not know? Either way. So I guess I didn't. Yeah, saving myself 2 damage might have been a game losing mistake here. Actually, it might have been a game losing mistake. I was a little checked out. Wow, they have Hardcast Force as their last card. Are they gonna crack Spellbomb looking for a counter? They have Force as their last card. Okay, I mean nothing matters, man. Nothing matters. Their one card we didn't know about was Force. Okay, well I lost. I mean I played this game terribly. This match I played terribly. I don't think we were gonna get there, but. So that resolves, it taps this down. I make 4 mana. I draw this, and this. I draw this, and then this. And then I go take a damage, cast this, look at these 5 cards. Which is not very good. Yeah, I don't think I was winning this game, but I definitely played awful. I played awful. So what was our list of things? Bad timing on this Mistress Bauble. I was kind of checked out and I didn't care, and it was definitely wrong. Bad timing on the Stress Down. I didn't consider the fact that I could draw Taxing Probe or Ancestral, and my opponent would have a Bowmaster, which is weird because I did consider that. I just like threw it away for no reason. Like it was definitely one of the things I thought about. I'm like, okay, what would be the reasons to cast Stress Down end step versus not end step? And I couldn't think of any good reason to not cast it end steps, but I didn't cast it end step. So. That was bad. And then this game, like, I don't think this game is like a huge deal because I do think it was like you just got run over. We mulliganed and then our opponent cast Ancestral and we were down 4 cards. But game 2, like it was a bad sequence, right? I should have played Ruby first. I was like worried about Daze, but like giving my opponent the information of Industry is like giving my opponent the information of Cavern in the mono white deck. Now, would my opponent have consigned my Ruby without seeing the Industry? Probably. Like if they have consign, like surely they're just going to consign there regardless. Like, well, I think if you're not attacking the Moxen with consign, then like it doesn't really make sense to be playing consign. Then like after I do get consigned, like it's variance after that. But like the fact that I drew the way I did was really bad. But again, like I could be playing all 4 starting towns instead of 4 spires, and maybe I just like didn't have any experience with this card and didn't realize it might just be straight up better than Spire. Yeah, I think you should not concede game 1. I don't think that's like a terribly losing position for you. I think you should just like obviously it's like not a great spot, but like if you draw Ancestral, you probably still win that game. So, but it was you had some interesting choices. You think you would have consigned the Ruby if I didn't show you Spire? I played really badly. That's like the only thing I was like super crazy about. Man, not great. All right, round 3. I do think that a lot of the problems so far have been player issues and maybe deck building issues. We talked a lot at the end of last round about the Spire of Industry and not making mana. But one of the things that I think I didn't talk about enough was that if I just sequence the Ruby in a better way, where I sequence the Ruby first and then play the Spire after, if the Ruby resolves, we never even start talking about Spire being an issue of mana. And so... And you know, it was definitely wrong. Like for some reason I was like focused on Daze, but even putting consign aside, like I wasn't even thinking about consign at all. The deck has like 2 or 3 spell pierces in the main. So like don't want my Ruby to be spell pierced. So I think that like, there's a very high chance we have a great game 2 if I just make one simple sequencing fix in game 2, and then we wouldn't even be talking about Spire being a liability. So, you know, a lot of this is just better play, and it's really kind of, in my opinion, inexcusable because it's something that I harp on all the time about mono white sequencing, where you want to like sequence your cavern last so your opponent has less information. Same exact thing happened there. It's just with different cards. So I know that's part of like playing with different cards and getting the mistakes out of the way, or in games. But I basically what I'm saying is I should know better. So we're trying to see if we can improve on our record here and fight through the last 4 rounds. I think our deck is pretty cool, so I want to explore it some more. So I have a cat. Opponent also has a cat, it looks like. And we're on the play. So, there is certainly some truth to the idea that we have not been running very hot today. I do believe that's true. But there are things we can control. And okay, this one is a very clear example of Spire is not making any mana. I just don't. Okay, I mean, like, I guess technically this, yeah, all right. I'm keeping this hand, I think, still, but man. I think that the answer is going to be Starting Towns over Spires. Spire makes 5 colors of mana, and Spire doesn't always have to cost life. If you're asking like why is Spire better than like a mana confluence, because you can not have to pay life, and that's a big deal I think in Vintage. Plus a lot of like Raker Shops is one of the most played decks in the format. That's incremental damage. Look at that, Ruby. I think the downside of Starting Town is quite high. I put a Starting Town in my deck. Oh, I'm getting baited by kinda again, man. He's just baiting me again. I also have drawn my 1 Paradox Outcome and no Moxen a bunch of times. Like, I am running cold, but like, not so cold that I can't play better and maybe win. So. But like, I don't expect to play games that I don't have Moxens in my hand. Like, I expect to play, like, that's the whole point of playing my deck is to have a gajillion 0 drops. I just haven't had hands, like, sometimes when you play PO, you have like hands that have triple Moxen. I've had no hands that have had more than 1 Moxen in them the entire night. Also, I guess none of my lands matter because I'm getting wastelanded. Well, who has lands anyways? I'm out. I kept the 2 land hand. I got double wastelanded. GG. I got my ancestral finally. Now I don't have any blue mana. Maybe I just need to be doing more mulliganing. Like, maybe I just need to mulligan more often. And to, like, more powerful hands. I just feel like our deck isn't, like, great at mulliganing. We kind of want a variety of cards, but... Man, Wasteland is just a completely unbelievable Magic card. No. No. If I had a white mana, I could turn this into... Oh, that's a pretty good draw. The question is... When am I casting? I mean, this just might just get negated, to be fair. I think they have a negation. So we're definitely not casting. Yeah, all right, they're just negating that. Makes sense. Well, at least I have a bear, and I'm attacking. Well, Esper Frog had a really good day yesterday. I had 2 in the top 3 or something. It was like a very high win rate. Oh, I just spilled everything. Just give me a sec. I gotta clean this up. Well, the Lavinia is not like a huge issue if I hit like a mana that any land, because I can just get a portable hole. I don't know. This is like me keeping a 2-land hand and having my opponent have 2 wastelands, which is feels like every game, right? I don't think my deck is bad is the problem. I feel like I don't think there's anything like inherently wrong with my deck. This is historically I haven't even drawn the Goblin Welder. Like historically, this is an archetype that has had numerous successes. It's not a bad deck. It's just we're getting crushed. Okay, I mean, I put extra lands in my deck, right? I have 12. It's not exactly extra, but all of my lands that are not all of my lands work here. A lot of my lands work here. They have a strip mine too. Like we're just like all right. If I turn this into a, just like we have an ancestral, we just can't even cast it. It's crazy. I don't know. It's kind of hard to beat force wasteland strip mine no matter what you're playing. Really don't know. Like, would I have been like a ton better off in this if I had? I mean, I can't really play like a Tundra, Lorien Revealed mana base with welders if I want to play the welder stuff. And like the welder stuff is kind of the point. What? No. I'm a content maker. I make content. I am exhibiting examples of other ways you can build the deck. This is pretty cool. We're phasing out the Lavinia and casting Ancestral, which means we can use our Force. They have a Spell Pierce, but at this point, like, we're definitely looking for... I don't think we're looking for Time Walk at this point. We're definitely looking for... I guess I could have used Time Walk here. They just have another counter... Okay... Sure. They have a wasteland? This attack means they have a Bowmaster as their last card, right? They don't? Okay. Why are they by Lurrus? Okay, I don't understand that attack then. They're just getting in there. Okay, then now there's no block. Okay. All right, my bad. I should have just attacked. Missed 2 damage. I mean, they could buy and play Lurrus here if they're not holding something up. They must be holding up Force, right? Like, buy and play Lurrus seems quite good. Okay, here's Lurrus. Okay, they're definitely holding something up because you wouldn't just not play Lurrus if you had didn't have something here. A starting town. Okay. The problem is now that if I portable hole the stupid Lavinia, they're just going to play another Lavinia. Actually, that's fine. Because I can... Oh, you're right. It comes in it comes in tapped. That's the whole reason I wasn't playing 4 starting towns. Whatever, man. I think I should have kept the time walk, not the surveillance cam. No matter what happens, the bad things happen to me. All right, so they have a Lurrus and a counterspell and another card. I got strip mined. They attack. They play Lurrus. Now I can't block at all either. They ripped a frog. I've drawn pretty well. Like, I keep drawing all my artifacts. Okay. I really wish I had kept Time Walk, not the stupid surveillance cam. That was a big mistake. So what I'm going to do is I am going to play Spire. And I'm going to... I can tap down the frog. And then tap it down again to get time. I just go for Volkey. Okay, I think we're playing the game still here. Should I tap on the frog? No, attacking is stupid. Okay, I think we're playing... They only have one more Wasteland in their deck, so surely I get to keep my Spire now. Oh, wait, we think they have a... Oh, but we think they have a negation, right? We think they have a negation... Wait, I can just do this. Oh, that can only be activated as a sorcery. Okay, so I should have... No, it's still fine. I draw another white source. I can weld into a Time Vault, untap my Fiddlebender if I draw another white source, and then weld into a key and win. This has to resolve, though. I've already drawn pretty well. Like, I've drawn a lot of lands this game in a deck that does not actually have a lot of lands, so I feel like I have drawn extremely well. Yeah, I got Hardcast negated on. Okay, so I have to take a frog hit now. I could have just turned my Ruby into a portable hole and turned off frog. But it didn't seem like... I kind of wanted to put, like, pressure on my opponent. This was tapping them out anyways. That's not good. Because that means Lurrus is... Oh. Oh, boy. Wait, they didn't play Lurrus? Lotus? I'm so confused. I don't even know that my opponent is, like, making the most powerful plays every turn. Soul Ring. I mean, I can just make them have to have a force or a swords. I mean, the chance they have a swords now is quite likely, but... I can't play Bauble anyways, even if I turn off this Lavinia, because they could have Bowmaster at this point, and I might just die. I guess I might just die to this frog anyways. 3, 4, 5, like Time Walk maybe. I'm at 8. So this is like another thing, like where I said life total matters. I guess we have used it for mostly colors though. I'm trying to see if we die. I'm pretty sure the way we win is we just vault key. Yeah. All right. I mean, my opponent drew 10 cards last turn. I'm just too many turns away is the problem. I could get... I won't have mana no matter what I do because my Soul Ring got countered. Yeah, I don't think we can win this game, unfortunately. Just too many wastelands. 4 wasteland effects is a little bit too many wastelands. I think if it was if it was 3 wasteland effects, I might have had a decent chance of winning this game. The 4th wasteland was too much. I'm actually pretty lucky that my Fiddlebender is even in play at all because they just means they have no force. They've hit like no swords up until this point. We've been outdrawn by 10 cards. The fact that our Ancestral didn't resolve with Force Backup was really bad. Lurrus is finally coming down. I don't think there's a single draw that gets me out of this game anymore. Frog. Frog? I mean, they kind of didn't draw any action there. If I had gone key... I needed the Soul Ring to resolve, really. No, that doesn't really do it, does it? Okay. I feel like we were so close there. And we just needed a little extra help. All right, I'm going to bring in Swords and Portable Hole and Planes and take out Force and PO and Spell Pierce. Maybe I'll just like have 2 null rods. Maybe I just need it. Maybe I just like can't beat Wastelands and I just need it in my life. What a terrible place to live. All right. Pretty brutal. I don't know. It was a tough game, though. So we saw just Lurrus Frog stuff. We didn't see any Bowmasters or any removal, but that's just how the game fell. I have a cat. I'm on the play. They have a cat, and hopefully we can play the game and not get all our lands wastelanded. Just another hand with no mana. I feel like I've had to mulligan so many 7s with Ancestral because we just haven't had any lands. Okay, this hand is quite good, though. Not amazing, but it's at least playable here. I'm going to go with Welder, Cam, Mana Crypt, Stock Up. But I'm not going to play a Welder turn 1 here. I'm going to play a Stock Up turn 1 before they have Spell Pierce online. The reason I don't play the Plains in the main is hands like this, for sure, where it doesn't actually cast anything. It's kind of why I'm playing all these 4-color, 5-color lands in the first place. So, yeah, I do think Plains is the correct basic to have in my sideboard, though. Like, I'm bringing in 5 white cards here. Okay, I'm going to play the Mana Crypt first. And then I'm going to play my thing, because I've learned my lesson. And I'm going to cast Stock Up. Then we're going to see what Stock Up gives us, or we're going to get our Stock Up negated. We have a Starting Town, a Fiddlebender, a Jet, and a Bauble. Bauble immediately gives us Welder kill. Fiddlebender gives us some reassurance. Starting Town gives us additional mana. I'd like to take the mana and the Fiddlebender. I think we want to try to insulate ourselves versus the best plays from our opponent. If my opponent just goes land go next turn, we can play both Welder and Fiddlebender through Spell Pierce. If we make infinite mana with our Cam, it's infinite colorless mana, which is not particularly useful. Does buy Lurrus. Just something. It might be enough to like activate Fiddlebender twice with multiple white sources and just get Volkey. My opponent had a mock start. Is this going to be a Lavinia? We can play through Lavinia pretty well too. Seal of Cleansing. Let's see. Goodbye, Mana Crypt. Well, you lived a good life. You did cast Stock Up. That will put an artifact in our yard. Oh, they're not going to cast Seal of Cleansing. They're not going to use Seal of Cleansing. That's good for me. Oh, they want maybe to take 3 damage first? Yeah, okay, fair enough. I could float in a Cam right now. Nah. Another Welder. So once again, I don't have an artifact for Spire. I feel like I'm being abnormally attacked on my artifacts. Well, I'm playing a different deck today. I've had a really bad day, okay? Like, things have just not remotely gone well today. And I ran very hot in the 5-0 league, so... I could have. I'm not, like, there's, like, a lot of value to be playing this at instant speed, where I can, like, play around a lot of things, tap down Frog. I think, like, playing my Cam just to get a blue artifact in play doesn't really... All right, I immediately get Bowmastered on my Welder. This was a fear that we were worried about. Like, I think this sequence ends up in a better space for me. I immediately draw Ancestral after getting Bowmastered in play. All right. Fair enough, I guess. Let's play another welder. I'm not gonna cast ancestral. I can get like a portable hole for this thing if I need to or whatever. But all right, I can play welder and fiddle, which is something. I have redundancy here. I just got Twister comboed. I have not run this code in so long, man. Fuck. And then I got wastelanded. No, I said the spires were better than playing Glimmer Voids, which is objectively true. I don't know if I don't really think I'm getting out of this game, man. I think I'm just dead. It's because I started to see that I had high elo that I now am getting punished. I really don't think this deck is that bad for what it's worth. Like, I think this deck is totally fine. I just like the number of Moxen that I've drawn today is like fastly approaching 0. I'm playing a Mox Opal full mana 11-0 mana. Like I just nothing has lined up in any reasonable way today. Okay, here we are, 0-3 in the challenge, but that doesn't mean we're stopping. We're gonna see if we can't make anything cool happen. I was just playing a really cool match in a league, actually. We were like welding out opponent's stuff, which was pretty cool. All right, we both have Lurrus. My hand doesn't make mana, but I have to keep it. All right, I don't know, man. Maybe this mana base is just actually unplayable. Maybe it's actually just unplayable. I've had so many ancestral hands that I couldn't keep. Maybe this one I can't keep either. I really didn't think it was gonna be that bad, but like this is not like a mana base people haven't played in the past. People have played this kind of deck with 4 Spire, 4 Glimmer, like tons of stuff like that, but I don't know. All right. I think this is a keep just because it's Ancestral Force and any color mana makes Ancestral mana, so. But I'm just like so sick of mulliganing. I don't want to mulligan anymore. You know? Not a good reason. I know, not a good reason. Like we know Talon Gates is good, but maybe I just need to have more blue mana. Mana Crypt. It's a hell of a start. I guess I could have forced the Mana Crypt, but Jesus. Like I feel like I have had no hands like that, and I have the cards to do this, right? Like this is a thing that my deck can do. I've drawn the stupid 1 of PO every opening hand, and I have no Moxen to show for it ever. You have force backup for your turn 1 Lurrus with Lotus. certainly considering it. A mana crypt would be a pretty decent draw for us. No, they got force. All right. With force backup. Don't forget that. Saga, Crypt, Lotus, Lurrus, force backup. Pitching surveillance cam. Yeah, we're in the surveillance cam bracket, baby. 1 in 5. You have a stock up after? I have a ponder after. Ooh, a ponder. Yeah. I don't know. And bubble. Now my Moxen and my forces are all turned off. I have all of these cards. They're all in my deck. I swear. I didn't cut any of the good cards. Crack Bobble. Play Lotus. I can counter something now, maybe. It's not even that I've drawn like all the bad ones either. Like I just like I drew Force, I drew Ancestral, like cast Lorien Revealed. No. I'm gonna bank on this Oswald Fiddlebender getting me out of dodge here. Though I can't cast it with Talon Gates until I have 2 more mana, so maybe that's actually not happening. Ponda. Yeah. At least Ancestral I could have cast with 1 more mana, but I don't know like when the next time I'm gonna be able to use that force is. Just draw Pearl. True. True. Why didn't I think of that? I should have just drawn the Moxen every time. Ah, so stupid. Just draw Starting Town. Just draw Spell Pierce. Lotus would be nuts, by the way. Lotus, I think, might win the game on the spot, right? Let's see. Lotus is 4 mana. Oswald, equipped, activate, activate. Lotus actually wins the game on the spots. Like, I would play an Oswald with haste and get a Time Vault off of the haste, and then I would take infinite turns. So, like, there's a reason the game is still going on. I actually have outs that win immediately. I'm just not going to draw them because why the hell would I? Am I getting Volt Keyed? Guess I'm getting Volt Keyed. Sure. All right. Yeah. I think I'm gonna bring... I don't exactly know what my opponent's working with here. Yeah, I mean, there's a reason I put the cards in the deck. They do things. They are good. I swear. Trust me. I just don't know what my opponent is exactly doing. We didn't get Wastelanded. I don't think we're going to get Wastelanded. I don't know how many... I mean, they probably have Welders. I think I just don't want Force. I think I want Portable Hole, Swords to Plowshares, maybe the ability to get Null Rod. I think I want access to Lantern and Needle, but I don't actually think I want Spell Pierce. I feel like my deck has never had a blue mana to play Spell Pierce once ever. Let's try this. I assume we're both playing just different builds of Turbo Volt Key, where I just don't know how my opponent is getting red mana. I mean, maybe they're not getting red mana, or maybe they're just using Cam. We saw what we saw. We saw Basic Island, we saw Saga, we saw Fetches. Don't know. I feel like this Null Rod's actually worse than just having a needle that we can name and then weld out later. Probably true. It's just like really hard to win games of Magic when you're that far behind on restricted cards. And like maybe that's on me. Like I kept the Force Hand that didn't cast Ancestral, and I didn't draw the mana to cast Ancestral. There's no rallying. It's already lost. The one game that we looked like we were winning was in our league match that I conceded to play this game. It was really sick. There was a Stone Coil Serpent, so we had 2 Goblin Welders, and we were welding out all of our opponent's artifacts. It was a good time. Welder actually looked good in that game. Though to be fair, we haven't cast very many Welders in this whole adventure. We've kind of just gotten bullied. All right, what do we got? Show me some power. I want to play with power too. Bro, like, I think all I do is draw the stock ups instead. Like, this hand sucks. This hand's real bad. If this hand was starting town, would I cape it? Probably not. Okay, I mean, a Lotus. It's not a very good Lotus. But we have a turn 2. Again, we don't have a Mox, so we don't have turn 2 infinite mana because we have the Lotus, the Black Lotus instead. But, I mean, this one's certainly better, for sure. We'll definitely keep this. We'll keep this in bottom of portable hole. Maybe this probe will hit us into something good here. The nice start about the Lotus is the Lotus does like let me start the Welder combo if I do find a Mox. But like having infinite mana is like not very good if you don't have anything to do with it. So, oh, my opponent's on an Astrolabe version of the deck. I see. Okay, that is actually a really good thing to do with infinite mana. So, but once again, I have the very awkward Lotus thing. Okay, my opponent has a Vexing Bauble, but I have a portable hole. Let's start by getting a Welder in play. And then I think I am just going to... Maybe I want to wait so that I can make a blue mana here. But then I need... No, I want to play a 0 drop down now. Okay, I'm going to crack this and play stock up. My opponent just fetches a basic. I mean, it's probably very similar to the list I made. Hey, look, a Moxen, chat. I have acquired a Moxen. Okay, I'm gonna take Sapphire and... Am I taking Sapphire and Jet? Or am I taking Sapphire Spire? Or am I taking Sapphire Walk? We have infinite blue mana or black mana. We're gonna want to walk. If I get both of these, I can use infinite mana to buy Lurrus. But buying Lurrus doesn't do very much when... I guess... Wait, buying Lurrus would let me draw 4 total cards with infinite blue mana. But there's a... I have a portable hole. Okay, so I think I just take Sapphire Jet. And get those in play. So... Next turn, my opponent has no removal right now. So next turn, I'm looking at infinite blue mana, infinite black mana, which is a Lurrus and 2 Cam activations. Also, I have 1 white mana if I want to portable hole their thing. So they're going to play Ruby, Goblin Welder probably to set up, because they have infinite draw next turn with Arkham's Astrolabe. So we do need to win, but we have a portable hole for their welder. So we're matching that. No problem. So I think this is the first time we're looking at like a very good welder scenario. Don't have a deterministic win though. I have infinite blue, infinite black, Lurrus, and Cam, and 2 activations of Cam. Because I can replay one with Lurrus. What is this? They drew Goblin Engineer. Okay, yeah, I mean that doesn't change anything, right? Oh, that means they like have lethal next turn. No, because they have to weld or whatever. All right. I will play a Cam, and I will tap this thing down for no reason, and then I will go to my turn, and we're gonna have to make a bunch of mana. Yeah, we might have more than 4 activations. That's true. All right, so I start by. Oh, I needed to actually play this, didn't I? Did I fuck up? I actually have to crack it now. I need to weld. Oh no, I could have welded the thing in. This is fine. Did I fuck up? Whatever. Do I have no access to blue mana now because I did this? I don't think it matters. Okay, save targets, that thing. Always yes. Always yield. Oh no, I have blue now. Okay, all right, no. I'm stupid. Okay, this is fine. So I have infinite blue and infinite black. And I should just be able to win. I just didn't bring back a cam. Okay, whatever. Second cam. All right, I am way offline here. Whoops. All right, cam, Mox, untap, Mox, cam. I was just doing stupid things. All right, Mox, cam, untap. Wait, what am I doing wrong? Oh no, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm stupid. I don't know why I don't know why I'm losing it. I just need to make sure. Oh, I had to weld the jet out next if I want to switch to jet. I see. All right. Let's cast ancestral. This doesn't actually do. Oh, now I have infinite draws. Okay, we figured it out. So now I can just activate top and weld the cam, and I draw through my whole deck, and I get Volky, and I win. Cool. All right. So yeah, that's kind of the thing we had to draw into, something good. This opponent definitely likes to make me play it out. All right, sorry about all the kerfluffle there. Obviously, a lot of extra stuff But now that we have this, it should be pretty straightforward. All right, opponent's out of it. All right, so we finally did the thing we were here to do. And we did it on turn 2. We made infinite blue, infinite black, and then with that mana, we were able to do some cracking and find a way to do infinite draw. What this does tell me, though, is that I was maybe misinterpreting, like, Engineer and how good Engineer was, because if I had, you know, made infinite, you know, if I had drawn into Oswald doesn't put a card in my yard where, you know, an Engineer would put the extruder alarm or a draw card in my yard right away. So that's something to consider. And something else to consider is that without it being an opal, the color of mana you go infinite with does seem to matter. So a lot of different extra things to consider that I wasn't thinking about before. Like the real reason I want to play Fiddlebender is because Fiddlebender is like a better card than Engineer. It does like a lot on its own. It can win the game entirely on its own, finding both pieces entirely on its own. It plays better with white mana, plays better with Portable Hole. I don't have access to like the Engineer Welder Citadel combo, but without the Lotus, how would I get something into my yard at all? Well, I had the Lotus. I mean, I can crack a Surveillance Cam for 4 mana. I had 4 mana that turn as well, right? I mean, that's part of the reason why I'm playing Mishra's Bauble, Lantern, Bauble, all these things that go into the yard. I can sack things with Fiddlebender, sack things with Legion Extruder. I mean, I put in a lot of ways that do that. I might bring in Mindbreak. Well, Mindbreak doesn't actually do anything against the combo. Yeah, I mean, it tutors something that goes directly to the yard is true. I understand that. That's, you know, that's kind of why I was playing it and Emery. But I think like the main thing is that I don't see, like, if you don't have Citadel, I don't think it's like as good to play Engineer. It's kind of what I felt. Like I just wanted to have like better cards on their own on the average, and somehow I don't think that happened. I think I just played infinite removal. Like my opponent's deck doesn't really beat infinite removal, right? I like the putting a card in the yard in general. It's okay. I just feel like the Engineer itself is so bad. I don't know. Starting town, Talon Gate, Saga, Misstep, Dress Down, Needle. Seems reasonable. Now that, you know, my opponent conceded to our infinite draw there, which means I'll concede to their infinite if they have a deterministic kill. I should not have. No, it was fine. I don't think I needed to like I don't think it was bad that I played the thing on the other turn. I just needed to weld the right card the first time. Yeah, I mean, we lost a round where our opponent had 4 wastelands and a strip mine. Like, what are we gonna do, man? sometimes you just die. We lost a round where our mono white opponent had Mana Crypt Lotus twice. Lots of things happened today. We lost some rounds where I made some poor choices. We've lost some rounds to our mana base. Lots of things. I would say, like, we haven't really drawn very many Moxen in our opening hands has been a really detrimental part of today. We've had a couple good Lotus openers, for sure. Volcanic Island. 1 mana Soul Ring. That's a good enough mental misstep target. Keep them off of stock-ups and things. I guess they might not have stock-ups if they have Ponders, but we have access to a Needle, so I don't think like holding for a Welder makes sense, and we have so many removal spells in our deck. That's interesting. So do we want to go Starting Town Time Walk? Or do we want to hold our Time Walk for Saga next turn? I feel like I'd like to have another card right now. So Time Walk is a combination with Saga in that you don't have to wait a whole turn. They have synergy together. Portable Hole. Saga. All right, I will play Saga. And I think I'm just going to buy Lurrus. I don't think holding up Dress Down does anything. Not really. Not in advancing, like... Oh, chess. So it's taking away a turn where my opponent can answer Saga. Right? Do you understand that? Now, I don't think my opponent has a lot of Saga answers, to be fair. So it may be you don't need to weigh that. But it's like very important if like opponent has a Wasteland or a Needle. Like the Needle! Where I'd still be able to get Saga token before my opponent had access to an answer. This is great. I get to show you why I would theoretically do the other line. Now, I do have access to Portable Hole on Needle if I want to go Saga token route. But I kind of need a Portable Hole that, or maybe I need a Needle that. Lots of options here. Definitely need to kill that. Can't let that live. Why is there a welder? Did you not watch the first game? Where we probed them and there was a welder? Oh. All right, so I have lots of options here. I think the first thing I'm going to do is play a Needle and see if Needle on Welder sticks. This is like a spot where we should be very favored. There's a reason I think our deck is like going to be super favored in the mirror, the pseudo mirror, what we're playing here, because we have access to Portable Hole and Swords, and I think these cards are just unbelievable at stopping an opponent Welder. I think I don't particularly need Lurrus to resolve here. All right, I'm going to play Needle on Goblin Welder. Let's start with that. See, like if I can get like a Forcer or something on this Needle, that'd be pretty good. It looks like they're just going to fetch around that, which makes sense. Snow-covered basic makes sense. Just going to name Goblin Welder here. It's kind of the whole point I brought in the Needle for. And then I'm going to go Lurrus, Lotus, and I think I'm going to go... I feel like I just don't need constructs here. I don't think I need to get rid of the Needle on Saga. Also, like, turns off their Saga. I also have Lurrus Dress Down Loop. I don't need a welder. Like, I have a Lurrus, a Lotus. Like, I think I'll be fine. And then if I ever do, I can just weld it out and get rid of theirs. Or, like, get rid of my thing. I have lots of different ways of doing things. I guess I can't weld it out. I have to Oswald it out. But, again, not a huge deal. Just not phase anything out. And then I think I'm just going to go with end of turn Dress Down Loops here. I guess I don't have to take a damage because I can filter. All right. So we have a Lurrus, we have Dress Down Loop, we have Lotus. We don't have access to Saga tokens here because I chose not to. I could have like used my Lotus, maybe played Portable Hole on the Needle, but I don't think that's necessary. Let's see if they play like a Goblin Welder or an Abrade or something. Legion Extruder. No. No, I don't have a Lurrus loop, I guess. There kind of was not a lot of ways of protecting me from this other than like holding up a gates. I could have gotten rid of my Lurrus actually for a turn here. I thought I'd want to just be able to block, but so now they can sack their needle and make 3 3s, and I don't have dress down loop. I actually might have put myself in a rough situation here. Probably have to hit this with portable hole. Yeah, that did not go well for me. That was definitely a one of that I did not want to see with the sequence that I chose to go with. But I have 4 stock ups in my deck here. I have a huge amount of mana. I have an Urza Saga Tutor as well. I have a Fiddlebender. Okay, so this is a pretty... So actually, I can't really Fiddlebend this needle away unless I hit this. Fiddlebender's an insane draw here. I just need to figure out how deep I want to go. I can make sure I resolve it with a Vexing Bauble. I could play a Skateboard and make it go right away on this turn. I could use the portable hole and then get rid of that later because yeah, that would be okay if it was my last option. Do I want to protect myself from it, I guess is the question. Skateboard, I guess, is slightly better than key here. A key right away doesn't do anything. Oh, I can skateboard so I don't get bolted right away. Buy this, equip this. Oh wait, I don't have enough white. Yeah, I have enough white mana for that. Okay, let's do that. Let's do skateboard, tapping, volcanic island. And then I will play a Fiddlebender. And I'll equip Fiddlebender. And I will... I think I'll just... I kind of want to resolve the portable hole now. So that I doesn't like get countered later. And I can do it next turn. Because the reason I can't sack this needle for a time vault combo is because then they can use their welder on my time vault combo to stop me. Because I have the load. Oh, I guess they couldn't if I hadn't cracked my load. No, I would be sacking something else anyways. Yeah. All right, then I'll sack this and I'll turn this into a key. Wait a second. If I turn it into a surveillance cam, does that help me? Wait, did I fuck up? If I sack into a surveillance cam, if I hadn't played the portable hole, sack into surveillance cam, untap, sack my surveillance cam into a time vault, untap. I think I don't have enough white mana. Let's just try it. Surveillance cam, untap. I didn't have to use this portable hole. Ah, I threw this whole game. No, wait, I think I still have enough. No, now I can't get a... Oh, I can't get a fucking 1-drop now. Ah! Okay. I super threw the game. Okay. Maybe I just get this thing then. And attack. I played this really badly. So what I needed to do... Wait, I could never have done this though, right? Because I never had enough... I didn't have enough zeros. Right? There was no line here that like gave me enough zeros to have done that. Okay, I mean, that's good to know. So next turn I can get rid of this thing for a time vault if I want to, but then I have to wait 2... I really fucked this up. I did not do this very well. I think I'll turn my needle into... I guess I want to be able to turn it into a time vault. I could attack though. I think I'm actually past the point where I want to... I think I just want to just... Oh, I can turn the skateboard into a time vault if I need to. Stock up. Wow, I'm sorry. There was a lot of things going on there. I thought I had a way of like going all for it all at once here, but I didn't seem to have enough zeros. But the fact that I can go 0 to 2 and then a 0 to 1 and go Vault Key makes this Oswald a lot better. So the skateboard, or sorry, the combo actually looks good in that sense. Oh, am I gonna die to Goblin Welder now? Because I unlocked Goblin Welder. I don't have other 2-drops to get, right? No, I can turn a golem into a 1-drop, so it's fine. Can I win the game? If I go... No, again, if I drew another 0-drop, I could win, right? Because I could go 0 into 1... No. So... Zero into 1 into 2. But I don't have another 0, so I don't think I can win. I might be missing something. I think I just make a token with extruder on skateboard. And wait a second. I have a skateboard. But do I have enough mana? I don't have enough mana, right? Like I can play Welder, I can equip Welder. It doesn't do anything. I don't think that does anything. Oh, wait, I can get a 0-drop and then make infinite mana, do infinite welds. Okay, so I was looking at it the wrong way. I can do... Okay, I think I found a line. I think I found a line. This line is really bad if my opponent has a removal spell, but... I think this is like... Is this a better... I think this is actually a worse play than just removing their welder right now. I can cycle Cam Legion. No, I don't have a... Oh, I do have a Cam, yeah. I don't know, this is like really bad against removal, but... They probably wouldn't have kept removal, so I think I just go Welder. Because oh, they have Force on my Welder. Okay, so now I need to go with the plan B line, which is fine. So so now I can just... Sack a 1 and get another portable hole, get rid of their welder and keep going. That's fine. I am down a mana. Well, I don't want to like randomly lose chess. Like my opponent can draw like, I don't know, ancestral thing. Like why would I not eliminate the way my opponent can play the game? I think. I wish I had additional mana so I could like make a golem off of the skateboard and then turn the skateboard into a portable hole. I mean, maybe I'm like not supposed to, but I guess if the welder like starts boarding out my things, it's pretty bad. It's kind of a weird spot. Because I could play way more aggressive. I could play way more aggressive than I'm going to choose to play. And yeah, it's probably fine. Should I just get needle? No, it's worse. Just get portable hole. I mean, this leaves my opponent with nothing. They buy Lurrus, but they can never cast it. And I still have a 3/2 and the ability to make more things that have haste and stuff. So it seems fine. I have tons of holes. So I've kind of run out the ability to like make more things. What did they draw? They drew Vexing Bauble. They'll just crack it. Look for another welder. I feel like I might have missed some good line there. Saga, but their Saga is turned off by their own needle. That's hilarious. This can get them to Lurrus, though. But we have 2 attacks to win, so... Oh, actually, we win right away, right? So we play a Pearl, and we kill off the Pearl, and then we give it haste. That's pretty fun. I don't listen to you normally, Chess. All right. I mean, this at least was a cool game. Like, really interesting things happened. We played a grindy game. We got to see Legion Extruder doing a thing. I am pretty confident that at some point in this game I missed a possible line that like might have found a way. Like, let's go back and look at the turn we Oswalded and see if I could have won that turn. I think there was something. I really think I might have missed something. Let's go look. So let's see. So this turn here. All right, this turn here. If I'm not playing around anything, can I just Oswald and win? Because I used my Black Lotus on Portable Hole, but I didn't need to, right? So I could have won this game for sure on this turn. Let's see. So from this spot here, I played this. From this spot here, pay with the Emerald and activate on this. Oh no, I'm not gonna have enough white mana. I'm not gonna have enough white mana. Put Skateboard, turn a 0 into a 1 into a turn a 0 into a 1, untap, turn a 1 into a 2, untap. But then I don't have another 0 because I need to use the Lotus's white mana, so I think we're short. Though the welder is tapped here. No, I think it's short. What an interesting spot. I p-holed the extruder so they couldn't make stuff and sacrifice the needle. But that might have been wrong. Oh no, I extruder I did my own extruder to kill their welder. This was fine. This was maybe a bad sack. I sacked the needle after my opponent didn't play a welder this turn. That seems fine. But it didn't give me the ability. No, I had skateboard still, so this seems fine. What's going on? Am I having another match? Oh, I have another match? Okay. I didn't see another match. Okay, I have another match. I didn't see the round end. Okay, yeah, this is fine. Okay, here we go. We're on to round, wait, what is happening? We're on to round 4, and we're 1 and 3. Okay, I'm so confused. We're trying to make a comeback here and see if we can go 3-3. We're up against Florida Legacy Club, usually an Oath player. I'm on the draw. I have a cat. Round 5. Round 5. Yes. 1 and 3. Round 5. Agreed. All right. So this hand looks garbage. This is the kind of hand where I really don't wish. I wish we didn't have Legion Extruder in our deck. Oh, they're on Lurrus today. Okay, I'm gonna keep this hand then. Oh, he's probably on Lurrus PO. He's been playing Lurrus PO recently. Unfortunately, we're on the draw, so this bobble's a little shit, but that's okay. Probe. All right, F6. This is, I mean, we finally have a hand that has some Moxen in it, so. But this is kind of like the joy of playing a toolbox deck, is you draw your toolbox cards when you don't really want them. Though, to be fair, these both have some use in this matchup. Lotus is not great. Wait, Lotus Black? What does that mean? Demonic Tutor. I see. Land Ancestral, I assume. Yeah. Okay. All right. That's a lot of cards to do the same thing, right? Like, theoretically, like, Lotus and Demonic are 2 cards that went away, and Ancestral replaced them, kind of. So, like, what, they're up, what, 1 card? And then a Vamp. Interesting. What the hell do you Vamp for from this spot? Wait, what is Vamp? Whose deck plays Vamp? Is this Doomsday? Well, maybe it's Doomsday. Huh. See if we can draw a blue mana here, a blue card here, a bauble. So should we look at their top card, or should we look at our top card to know if we have a blue card on top or not? I guess it doesn't really matter if we know we have a blue card on top or not. Let's see what their top card is. Underworld Breach. So that means they have a force for Vexing Bauble then. But we have a Lantern. We have a Lantern, a Bauble, and a force. Opponent is okay with tutoring for Underworld Breach here? Wow. That's kind of crazy. Does that mean they have a misstep and a force, maybe? Maybe they have a Mindbreak Trap. I can't really play around Mindbreak Trap, though. I can play around misstep by not playing the Soul Ring, though. But not playing the Soul Ring means we can't crack the bauble for force. I don't think we need to crack the bauble. I think if we get a bauble in play, we're happy. So, I think I'm gonna lead. I think I'm getting both of these countered, and then I have to draw a blue card to win. Yeah, probably fine. They know my whole hand, so that resolves. Okay, I have no idea what's going on. How can we possibly have vamped for a breach then? Well, Sean plays Mindbreak Trap if it's the Sean deck, right? Well, like, how could we have possibly vamped for a breach then, though? We didn't draw the blue card for force, so that's good news. We just want it for later? Like, it was just the best thing we could vamp for at the time, I guess. Bend to force. Chain, maybe chain. Yeah. All right. I mean, I think I'm going to keep both of these in play if I'm playing against Breach, right? So I just want to build my way to Lurrus. So I will play a Soul Ring, and I will play I'll buy a Lurrus. I have the ability to crack Bobble if I need to. Yeah, they could have Rebuild or Chain, and they're just looking to set it up. I mean, they have 7 cards in their hand, so at least our play here is like much better than our last few rounds. Like we have some serious cards here. We have some serious cards here. They can have Hardcast Drain, I guess, is something we need to think about. Like assuming they're on Gift Strain here, I feel like is a reasonable assumption, which means we can't really play any of our cards. Portable Hole doesn't really do anything. Like playing a Lurrus into a Drain here seems really bad, but I also don't have double blue mana for Force. Should I crack my Bobble? That seems pretty bad too. I feel like I just have to wait. At some point, he's just going to start casting gifts on my end step, though. I need to get a Lurrus down, but I need to do it in a way that doesn't run directly into the mana drain somehow. Just infinite lands. Should I just crack the Bobble? And what is that? Stock up? Oh, buy Lurrus. Okay, so they never had drain. That's weird. Like buying Lurrus here is a little aggressive, isn't it? Like I feel like buying Lurrus is actually worse because I have a Karakas. But now I can definitely resolve Lurrus. Should I crack Bobble? No. Okay, I'll draw. Force. Lurrus. I can crack and replay Bobble here. I really don't want to expose myself, though. I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to do it. I have enough stuff. I think I have enough stuff. This does run me into drain, I guess. But sorry, not to drain, a trap. All right, that all resolved. What is happening? I'm so confused. That play was so aggressive. I don't know if I was supposed to make that play. Oh, I'm so confused. I don't know what's happening. I mean, I really advanced my mana situation, though. I can't think of what's in my opponent's hand. I guess, like, if it's just Force of Will, it's pretty bad. Just Chain. Oh, Chain on my Lantern. Okay, I see. So they can win through, Bobble through. I guess they don't even have to, right? They could just vamp for... They could just vamp for... Or they could just Breach for Ancestral. I guess I'll just wipe their yard here. Keep my Bobble in play. I can replay this Lantern after. Seems fine. Well, they, like... Theoretically, they could, like, Breach and just, like, cast some Ancestrals, right? But they can't do that if I wipe the Ancestral, so... Oh, Squelcher, main deck Squelcher, ignore Bobble. I would get fucked by main deck Squelcher here, right? But I've already gotten rid of the Lotus, and I've already got rid of the Ancestral, so... Because I can't counter it. They can play Lures, it doesn't matter. I don't know. This, like, it's kind of tough. There's a lot of angles now. And this Welder deck has a lot of things going on, so... Oh, sorry, not Welder deck. This Gifts deck, I should say. Draw 3. I think I'm supposed to let that go. I think I'm just supposed to let that go. I'm replaying Lantern next turn, so... I'll have Hardcast Force soon, too. They're just done? Okay. I kind of wanted to play the rest of this game out. All my opponents, whenever I've gotten into a remotely interesting game state, have just left. This is the second game. Like the first one, game 1 against Laz, we like made it to parity, got an interesting game state, and then he's like, nah, I'm out, man. And then here we like, opponent resolves a draw 3. Nah, I'm out, man. All right. Okay. So how do we proceed? Um, what do we want? Trap, maybe? Maybe Null Rod? I think we want no portable hole. I think we definitely want to keep Lantern. I don't really like Crypt, though. I like Skateboard. I don't like Needle. I like Dress Down. I like all of this other stuff. I don't really like this Legion thing that much, but it's not bad. It gives me a direct answer to Lurrus, and I can still make constructs and stuff. I think it's fine. And then, I mean, we don't have to play 3 traps. We don't have to play Null Rod, but they both seem reasonable. Maybe we just take out the PO. I think this PO is so bad. It's just kind of a blue card. I mean, I don't actually think the PO is bad. Like, we have a lot of PO targets. Like, we could definitely resolve a PO. It's kind of hard, though, against Gift Strain. I think I'm down to take out the PO and play this way. The PO is a little bit more versatile than Stock Up in terms of casting windows. So maybe... Nah, fuck it. I just draw this on my opening hand every time. All right, so now we're in game 2 on draw. We had a really strong opener that time. Felt really nice. We had good anti breach cards from our toolbox that land up pretty sweet. What do we have this time? We've got the Talon Gates, we've got Demonic, and we've got 2 stock ups in our opener. So we can either play a Welder or a Demonic. I think this is pretty good. It's not the best hand by any means, but it's totally reasonable. Opponent mulliganed once. All right, so what do we want to get here? Another probe, so my opponent knows my whole starting hand again. And they have free reign to do whatever they want here. Volk. Lotus again, okay. Is this Demonic Ancestral again? Oh, Frog. We boarded pretty badly around post-board Frog here. We boarded quite poorly around post-board Frog here. Lotus is a good draw, though. We're very close to infinite black mana, which would be lethal because we have DT into Sensei's top draw our deck. Hmm. How do I want to approach this? Oh no, we would have to DT for our infinite, so I guess it wouldn't be lethal. All right, let's see my opponent's top card here. A Volcanic. Second card. All right, this card needs to come down. I don't think I'm ever being able to phase that out on their turn here. Then second card, Lotus. Third card, Jet. They know my whole hand now. So the question becomes... I mean, I think the question doesn't become anything. I think the question becomes... Well, I can stock up, right? While they're tapped out. It's a pretty reasonable thing to do. Yeah. Resolves. Bobble, Misstep, Oswald. Let's see. I think I like starting town, Misstep. So if I go starting town, Misstep, next turn, if a Welder resolves, Welder lives. Then I have DT for Cam for infinite black mana. Infinite black mana buys me Lurrus. Lurrus buys me Lotus. Lotus lets me stock up and see if I can't find a way to win, which seems reasonable. So starting town, Misstep. Misstep will help protect me. And then here I transfer the Talon Gates into red mana and cast Welder. Now I also have another draw. Skateboard. I don't think that changes anything. It just means like not having Oswald is worse. They get one draw off of Frog, but they also had to put a Lotus into this Frog, so not a huge deal unless the game goes very long. I forgot he was playing the sideboard Frogs. I should just look at his 5-0 list. I know he has a 5-0 list. It's a PO deck. Oh, it's a PO Breach deck with sideboard 2 Frogs. Okay, sorry. I played the whole first game way wrong. So there was a Hexing Squelcher in opponent's deck in the main. Okay, wow. I totally forgot this was the list he was playing. Let me open the link so you guys can see what I'm looking at here. So this is the deck my opponent is playing. I totally forgot. So main, they would have been trying to play to like the Hexing Squelcher maybe. They had a lot less options in the main there in that game, so it makes sense that they didn't want to play after like casting Lorien. Only 2 Frogs came in, but there were Hexing Squelchers, so maybe I should have kept in a portable hole no matter what. All right, so a Frog has hit me here, and now I drew the Cam, so now I actually have lethal because I don't have to tutor for Cam, so I can turn infinite black mana into demonic for Sensei's top or for Legion, for Sensei's top, draw through my deck, and then do Legion Intruder. So this is winning. Let's play starting town and make a black mana and weld in a Lotus. And then I will make a blue mana and play a Cam. My opponent might start chatting to me here to see if they need to concede or not. I kind of expect that to be a possibility. Now, if this gets countered, chain on my welder. Misstep on your chain. Cam resolves, I hope. Cam resolves. Save targets welder. Always yes. Always yield. Wield the Cam into the jet. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to make infinite black mana. Infinite black mana into a DT. DT for top infinite draw. Can you counter DT? Question mark. He says he cannot, so looks like he'll concede. GG. All right, I will reveal my hand to show my opponent I do have a DT, and I definitely have a Sensei's top, so I have lethal here. Nice! I mean, we did draw the Cam there, so we got to hold our DT. If we hadn't drawn Cam, what we would have had to done is DT for Cam, make infinite black mana, buy Lurrus, play Lurrus, buy Lotus, and hope our stock up hits us something we can use with our infinite black mana, which would still be a really good spot, right? Like, all in all, it's still a really good spot. It could turn into infinite mana of other colors. It could turn into infinite draws or something. I guess, technically speaking, we could maybe use a Lotus normally, so we'd have another set of mana as well. I'm not 100% sure. But when I drew the Cam and still have a DT, DTing for a top definitely just draws us through our whole deck. I guess technically I have red mana already, so I don't have to DT for a top. I can DT immediately for Legion Extruder and just deal 20 damage to my opponent. But I was kind of thinking about positions where I didn't have red mana. But right now I do have red mana because the positions before I didn't have. I guess with the Lotus and the Jet, I always have different colors of mana this turn. So I guess there's kind of no reason to actually even go for the Sensei top when I can just go for the Extruder. Cool. I mean, I think this is our deck actually working on key capacity. What we did was we ran into a deck that had like light on removal, right? So this deck has a braid and 2 chains. So like this is where a Goblin Welder can really shine. And we were able to like do a very succinct turn 2 combo. I think we've been able to turn 2 combo a couple of times now. So maybe we just ran into some rough variants in the first 3 rounds, a couple play mistakes, and we weren't able to pull it together. But you know, the back portion of this is working as intended. Okay, here we are, 6th and final round, trying to get that 50-50 win rate after how bad the first 3 rounds went. I'm okay with that. Starting town, Spire, Talon Gates, Pierce versus Raker with a Force. Seems fine. Seems acceptable. Not the strongest hand. Again, another hand with no Moxen, but we have our starting town this time, so we have the turn 1 Spell Pierce if we need it. I must say these Spell Pierces have not felt great either, but maybe it was just like bad matchups. Not sure. All right, what do we got? What do we got? Grim Monolith, Resolvers. Hopefully it's not something bad. Fleshraker, Force. And a Soul Ring. And a top. I don't think the Spell Pierce is hitting anything. I could still hit a ring next turn. Okay, your move. Let's see if there's a 1 ring here. I guess if they have another land, it's pretty bad. Spin a top. And draw. Off a workshop? Off an ancient tomb. Fleshraker. Oh, wow, that was a really nice payoff here. Boom! Spell Pierce their Tezzeret. Huge. All right, good job, Spell Pierce. Not bad. Not bad. We're slowly working our way to a stock up. They have a follow-up. They have a follow-up Crawler. That could be problematic. I guess I can Talon Gates it later. Time Vault. Another stock up. A Welder. And a top, obviously. And then a spin. I feel like we're behind. And another Tezzeret. Jesus, okay. And then they can get a Needle maybe on Time Vault if they have a Needle in their main. They got a Chalice of the Void. They're going to Chalice of the Void on 1. All right, that's certainly a way to go about it. We're kind of looking for an Oswald then. We also don't have a lot of time. Another Talon Gates. All right, we're going to go stocking up here. Legion Extruder does kill this. And there's an Oswald and a DT, so I think we'll take the Legion Extruder and the Oswald, and then next turn we can play both. Might be enough. Mental Misstep doesn't do anything here. They also can't draw and use their top. So I'm hoping that this extruder is going to killing the crawler will be enough to stabilize us. We're going to go to 7, then we're going to go to 6, then we're going to 4. So we can't really deal with any more creatures if they have more creatures here, sadly. It looks like they have another creature. Nope, spin. Okay. That's not the worst. Oh, we do need a 0 to Fiddlebend out. But I hope we can draw a box or something. It would be fine. I guess we could, if we draw a 1, we could extruder it into a 0 and then do it. Wow, this extruder plays pretty nicely with, Fiddlebender. Flush Raker. I might not have a time here. My opponent going to go for 1 damage with this top, or... all right. I go to 7 and then to 6. Spire. Yeah. I will go red. Extruder, killing this. I'll go white. Fiddlebender, and then we'll see if this lands. I have 2 cards in hand and a top spin. And they have the ability to untap Monolith with Tez. I don't think they can get 4 cards here because any 1-drops can't resolve. So the tops don't resolve. So that they don't up the Tezzeret. But if he finds a 0... Wait, what did he just do? He untapped... Okay, he played another top, which would have killed us if he hadn't played Chalice on 1. This does ping us for 1. We need a 0 to win. Ooh, should I just block this Flesh Raker? I kind of want to. I can make a white mana off of Talon Gates if I hit a 0. But if I miss, then I can't actually... I mean, I could play everything and get a stock up, but it's probably bad. I think I'm just going to block. I think we're in a spot where we're winning. I would have won with the ruby. Damn. All right. Well, unfortunate. Sad. Let's save a life and stock up here. Surveillance cam, welder, skateboard, probe. All of these cards get countered by Chalice. I guess I will take Opal and Surveillance Cam. That was a really bad stock up. And I can at least make a Legion Extruder token. Wow, that went really badly. I would have won the game if I had... Would I have won the game? I guess it depends. Like, if I let the attack hit, then my opponent can draw into a 0 and win. No, yeah, or a 1 and win. So maybe not. If they play another 3-drop here, it's really bad for me. This Chalice on 1 is so odd because it like really stops our opponent, but they might have just felt like they were going to die. Would they draw a 3-drop? What is happening? Do they draw a ring? A Karn? Okay, well, it's not good for me. I will turn this Opal into a 3/3. I can phase out the Eldrazi spawn and kill something if I need to. Depends on like what's in... I mean, if they have a Masticore in their sideboard, it's like, it's really bad. Super bad if they have a Masticore in their sideboard. Damn, man. They can actually kill their own chalice now if they want. Oh, this was so tough. I feel like I made the right play, though. Now they have a Masticore. I don't think I'm beating a Masticore here. Oh, that also lets them tutor with Tez if they want. Huh. Needle. Unfortunately, I just don't think I can win. Oh, man, a Karn draw. Damn. What was I? I mean, I could have taken it and hoped they had no castable card on the top of their library because it doesn't even have to resolve. I would have been at 1. I had the Talon, so I did have a white mana that didn't cost anything. Well, this game was also a pretty good example of like I tapped for colorless a lot, and my life total was really relevant. So I think this is a good example of why we're trying to play these lands that can tap for mana of colorless mana or pay life for at 5 colors. I think this was a good example of that. So I can't even attack. If I... Nope, I got nothing. What a nightmare scenario here. Portable hole, killing per token. Okay. Like maybe he'll play out his 2 cards and the Masticore will die? I don't know. I'm not seeing a convincing out from this spot. Portable hole is not actually a good answer to Chalice on 1. Yeah, Sec is not very good against Chalice on 1, I must admit. We have a lot of 1-drops. 21 1-drops. I will say that Portable Hole is an answer to Chalice on 1 if I have an Oswald in play. They played a Grim Monolith, so they can tutor with their Tezzeret, maybe. Or are they going to go for I was going to say they might go for... Oh, Karn, get an extra attacker in. Oh, and pump the attacker to play around. To play around removal. All right, nice play. Nice play, opponent. All right, so we had a choice in this game whether to block or not. I still think Mick blocking is the right choice, but because we didn't have, if we had a guaranteed win, I might just go no block, right? Because I know I can win. But with no guaranteed win and my opponent, any spell kills me, I just don't think we're allowed to, especially if they have a top in play, right? They could spin and draw. Yeah, I think we made the right play. Just this Chalice on 1 was a bit of a hindrance to me because I didn't have an Oswald going. Needed an Oswald in that game. So I have access to Null Rod and Needle, and I have access to Swords and Plow and Mindbreak Trap. And how do I even board for this matchup when every card is good? I don't think Serenity is particularly good against them. Lantern is definitely bad. I don't really think Bobble is very good. Dress Down is good. Skateboard could be a turn. Top. I feel like I have to have one top in my deck that I can like tutor for, maybe. Not sure. It would have definitely come up before. Misstep is good. Probe is bad. Maybe I like don't play Forces. I feel like you have to play Forces, right? Spell Pierce is pretty bad, but then I'm on like 0 blue cards, right? I guess if I have enough removal, then it's fine. Maybe Spell Pierce is fine on the play. I think the Spell Pierce only really hits Tez and One Ring. Maybe that's fine. Like I have Swords and I have Portable Hole and I have answers to One Ring, so maybe it's just fine. Maybe I can make out Needle top because I could Needle top as well. Hard to say. The classic problem of trying to board versus Raker, where I think everything was good. Maybe I don't actually need more Portable Holes. What does that even hit? Doesn't even really hit anything. So I can keep in a force. I mean, I think a force is like worse than a mind break trap, just so I can, if they're comboing off, it actually does something. So maybe the answer, maybe the answer is like more mind break traps and less spell pierces too. So we can play our turn 1 goblin. Yeah, let's try this. Don't know. Lots of possible options here. I always have a hard time boarding against Raker because I just don't know which cards are the best. They all seem good. This hand has no mana again, and the PO is in my opening hand again. This hand has turn 1 Welder and a skateboard, but can't equip the skateboard immediately. It's gotta be close enough. Let's just keep it. And I'll go bobble, look at my opponent, look at my top card in case I want to draw it with top, I guess. Spire. Does that change anything? No. So it's just Saga, Ruby, Welder, top. I don't think skateboard does anything. I guess it technically can make constructs attack faster, but that doesn't really matter. Okay. I mean, this doesn't do anything right now, and I don't have blue mana. So, I mean, I do have blue mana. I have Spire. So I have infinite red mana. Oh, I have infinite draws with top. So if I draw if I can spin and find a dude, a thing. Oh, what's it called? A cam. Then we can win on turn 2, which I think is good enough. Raker. I mean, they might just have Raker double top. Oh, wow. Dismember for my... Wow. Okay. I mean, they only have, what, 2 dismembers or 3 dismembers, maybe? All right, I'll draw and see if I can find a mind break trap. Not bad. So... I think we're still spinning for... I think we're still spinning for a cam. We playing top, spinning for a cam. 3 cards, 3 looks for 4 of. Winning on the spot. I don't think making constructs matters. Play top, spin for cam. We missed. We did hit mana crypt though. So I can draw with top and put... I don't think I can do anything here. Because I'm short on PO. I can't really use a skateboard to make my opponent not kill me. I can't really use a top to find anything. Because if I draw with top and I get rid of it and then I use a bobble to try to draw... I mean, what I can do is make sure that I draw Mana Crypt and Outcome so that I can go for a PO on the next turn. Because I can't search for cam. I mean, I think I'm just going to die is the problem, but I don't really have a lot of options. Is a PO better than stocking up? Probably. Oh, I can look at 1 card deeper, right? But then I can't draw it. No, I can with... Okay, so I can look 1 card deeper to try to find another trap, maybe. So let's do that. Let's go play Aspire. Activate top. Hold priority. Activate top. Hold priority. Weld the top for the bobble. Why can't I search for cam? It's not a 0 or 1 cost artifact. Draw with top. spin with top. It is not a exactly 0 or 1 cost artifact. I found the Mindbreak trap, chat. Wow. Well, I mean, I did something right. The problem with this is if I keep Mindbreak trap to not die, I don't actually have a play on the next turn. But, I mean, I think I'm supposed to. All right, so I successfully got myself to a point where I have a way to not die this turn. Oh, never mind. There's a defense grid. If I had kept my PO, I'd be in a better spot. It's okay. I don't actually know what I can even draw into now. Oh, do they have a kill through? I don't have 3 mana, so I can't trap. I think I made the right play. This finds a top. I mean, they might just kill me. But if I didn't have a defense grid, I had a trap for it, at least something. But I did not have enough mana. So if I hadn't spun, but I had to spin. Saga spin. I mean, this only the defense grid is the. Oh, they found it. Wow. Yeah, I mean, they turn 2 killed me. I just missed on my turn 2 kill. I think I tried, and I think I put a good effort in this here. Like, they had the 1 removal spell for my welder. I made the play, found the trap, countered the dismember. I just needed to hit the stupid cam in my top 3, and I missed. Because I had the infinite. I would draw through my deck and win. And I even played this to a point where I could find my second Mindbreak trap and hit their Tezzeret here, but they just had a defense grid. Man. This was like probably the best I felt I played all time. It just didn't work out. I think we were definitely losing here though, because unfortunately by making this trap play, I know it means that I'm definitely drawing. Oh wait, no, I drew trap and I did the thing. So I would draw PO, right? I would draw PO for turn. So then I would be fine. I'd draw PO. I'd get an island. I'd get a blue source, and I would go PO for 4. I should have probably kept stock up then, because they would be better than POing for 4 or for 3 for 4. So I should have kept stock up as the next card down. But this actually worked out super well. Because I didn't draw the top, and then I cleared with ball. Yeah, okay. So I would have drawn one of the 2 blue cards. Yeah, all right. I mean, like, I played this really well then. I just, like, got defense grid. I'm surprised they even brought in defense grid against me, but it was good here. So, all right. Yeah, this was a rough one. We went 2-4, but like I said, I think it was a lot about variance and also a couple key misplays. I might consider playing starting towns over spires, like more starting towns. I don't know. I don't know what the right split of lands here is. Like, it's possible that this Caracas is worse than a starting town as well. Like, Caracas has some viability with Oswald, Lurrus, and opponent's Lurruses. So I kind of like having, like, this. They're kind of decks where I like having a Caracas. It's a heavy white deck. So it's there. I think the toolbox was looking good, and the combo was looking good. The Oswald looked good. The PO looked fucking awful. I don't know what it's supposed to be, though, because you can't play Lorien revealed with this mana base, but I need more blue cards, and these Spell Pierces did not look amazing. I had 1 good Spell Pierce this tournament. I will say that I kind of wish I had a 4th welder as well. It was very much a big part of our good games where our threatening welder kills on turn 2, where like we're threatening a welder kill and then we have this like backup plan of like a very not compact but redundant vault key plan B. I mean, maybe it's plan A and then the welder's plan B, but either way, Vamp is very. So the problem is I need blue cards. So it's not actually possible for me to play Vamp in these blue slots. Like this is so low. This is 20. It's already pretty low. Vamp was one of the last cards I cut from the deck. The last 2 cards I cut from the deck were Vamp and Welder number 4. But it's possible that like 2 portable holes is too many, but like portable hole is so good against Frog that, you know, like I can't imagine not having 2 portable holes. And like I don't want to cut Bobble because I want as many 0 drops as possible to play for my Spire and for my Opal and to get a card in the yard so that I can start the Welder loop is important. Like it's definitely times where we didn't have the exact right cards to start the cards in the yard. I think I am supposed to play a Pedal in here. That was a bit of a mistake as well. So I don't know how to fit all of these cards in my deck, but like Pedal seems like it might make more sense than maybe Opal. I mean, I think this is an Opal deck if I've ever seen an Opal deck. Like we are on how many artifacts? Like that's an incredible number of artifacts. The fact that we had so many games where Spire did not have an artifact is actually nuts. I can't believe that happened. A third of our deck is artifacts. More than a third of our deck is artifacts. Yeah, some weird things happened in this thing. I kind of want to attribute some of it to variance, but I also maybe want to attribute some of it to being like we're a little bit lower powered. But theoretically, like our Lurrus should help make our Oswald Welder stuff even better. Like the fact that I can bring back Welders after they get Bowmastered is a huge upgrade, right? So like theoretically, we should have made our Welders stuff better, and like made our like not having Tinker means our deck is like less powerful. But I feel like it didn't really go that way today. We did run into 3 restrictive decks in the start of this tournament, which was a problem. Where in our 5-0 league with the other deck, we kind of played against a bunch of non-interactive combo decks instead. So it's really possible that like we actually like made a good switch in terms of our deck should play better against the decks we played against. It's just maybe that matchup is still so bad that it doesn't really actually help. Either way, I don't know the right answers here. I don't have the right answers here, but maybe the things I would look at are getting a Lotus Petal in the deck. I would look at maybe playing more starting towns. Maybe the answer is like a split where a Talon Gates and a Spire become a starting town, and then you have 3/3/3. Then you can have more variance in your mana. I don't know. I do like some of the mappings of this deck where we were like, oh, okay, we're playing against Frog, 4 forces out, spell pierces out, bring in swords and portable holes and overwhelm them for overwhelm them. I think that worked pretty well. Like we could do this, and this. And I don't know, that's such a silly mana base. Like surely, I mean, maybe the answer is like we need turn 1 mana, so it's just this, and then maybe this like Opal is not actually good. There's no way this Opal is actually bad, but we just like had very little hands that had multiple artifacts in them, which feels very odd. But there's like it's so hard to like make cuts here because you can't cut a blue card. Like if you cut a blue card, it has to be replaced with another blue card, or you're just not gonna have enough blue cards for Force. And I just like don't think this deck is good if you're not playing Force. Like Vintage is not really at the point where you can just like play Mindbreak traps instead of Forces, like a Supreme Cube. Don't think we're at that point, so I don't have an answer. Maybe this was going too far in terms of like fixing for white. I kind of the answer might be more of like the white, cut the white splash, make the mana base Esper, make the mana base Grixis, play the Engineers again, and then like maybe you still play a portable hole and you just try to cast it off of like Opal or whatever, or like or like tutor it into play with Welder or whatever. Well, I think Emery, like I think Lurrus is quite good. You know, like it's nice to play a non-Lurrus deck, but if my main way of winning the game is Time Vault Key and Welder Cam, if all of my best possible cards are 1 and 2 drops, like we should probably be pushing for Lurrus, right? Emery's cute, and Emery was good because like we had like a ton of creatures, but I would remain unconvinced Emery is the best way to go about building a deck like this. That is how I feel. So, you know, maybe the, like I said, maybe the white cards were, I mean, the white sideboard cards were nuts, right? Like Swords and Portable Hole were fantastic all day. Switching to red base is really rough in general, but the fact that we won't need black mana on turn 2, so we're really more of a blue-red deck with a black splash for Lurrus, makes it like more reasonable. I guess theoretically you could just play one Underground Sea, one. Should we just make this deck while we're here? One Underground Sea, one Tundra, right? So, I mean, that sounds awful to me, but because you're probably not playing a basic at that point. So, like, you could play white cards. Almost all the white cards are gone, and you could play Engineer. I don't know if I want to play 4 Engineers. You can play like 2 Engineers or something, maybe. 2 Engineer, 3 Welder. I mean, if we played 4 Engineer and 4 Welder, and then we played... At that point, you don't need to actually play as many Baubles because you're playing Engineers again. Like, yeah, I mean, it's possible. I just, like, thought it wasn't great, so I didn't want to go with it. So I do this. And then it's Island. Like, I 5-0'd with a 12 Welder deck, if you want to call it that. But I don't, you know, that's just variance. Like, sometimes it's good. So, like, if I did this and I did 1, 2, 3 Volks, 1 Sea, 1 Tundra, because they both cast. I mean, I kind of don't want to play a Tundra here, but 1 Sea, 1 Tundra, 2 more fetches probably. You can't really play a basic island here. I guess it's Misty Strand. And then you would cut almost all the Baubles. You probably keep 1 Bauble. And then we don't have to play PO at this point. We can play Lorians, which are much better for this, I think. Like maybe 2 Lorians if we can help it. And then I think these Spell Pierces were really bad. Like, where are these Spell Pierces not very good? Spell Pierces go 6, 10, 12, 16, 19. I need another blue card. Maybe it's like this, and then dropping this. And then, you know, maybe you cut back down on 1 Engineer again. I do think the Portable Hole is really good, though. I don't want to cut the Portable Hole. And then the sideboard needs to be completely rearranged because you can't reasonably be casting Swords to Plowshares. You're probably not playing any white or black cards in your sideboard at all. So it would be this, traps. I kind of want to put the vamp. I really don't want to put the vamp. So maybe this would be 3 Engineers. And then you're playing. I mean, this is less. I mean, we put the pedal in to help enable the thing, so that's good. So this is 7, 11, 13, 17, 20. We're back at 20 and we're back at 60. So that seems reasonable. Then sideboard wise, you probably have to play Dismember instead. I don't want to play Emery. I just talked about this, guys. How many times do I have to re-say it? Like, I think losing Lurrus is worse than playing Emery. Like, I talked about this. And also, I already made that deck. Literally, I made the deck and I made a video with the deck. Dismember, Needle, Rod, Tormod's Crypt, Trap. What else would you even put in this sideboard here? Lurrus is... If you think Lurrus is worse than Emery, you're just an idiot, Sully. You're just a huge idiot. I don't know what to tell you. I don't think Squelcher helps. Artifact removal, Needle, Pyro. I just like don't see ourselves having the open mana to like protect our spells. Like, it just doesn't seem like a thing. Like, we had 2 Spell Pierce in our deck today, and they were awful. Like, almost the entire day, they were just completely awful, right? I mean, we could put... I just like don't see us actually wanting the basic here. I guess it's like we could put the abrades back in because those were the best catch-all answer and they're red. So you probably put the abrades back in. Daze? I'm not playing a fucking Daze, man. That card is garbage. Like, that card is just like hoping that the RNG puts you in the correct avenue to like suddenly your opponent has one random, you know, not one less random than they need to have. Like, it just doesn't work, man. Like, over our long term, it just doesn't work. Legacy with my 10 Moxen? Come on, man. Like, try a little bit harder. Mox, this, Tormod's Crypt. So now we have a problem where, I mean, maybe we just play... Maybe we still play the over-encumbered. I probably don't need an over-encumbered. I think, like, Defense Grid's not very good, right? I feel like Squelcher is not very good. Is Squelcher like a card? Like, what like, we have to think of, like, what the matchups are and, like, how we're boarding. I guess what we do need cards to board out. I guess Squelcher will help us for the Frog matchup where we want to board out Force. Because we don't have the cards to board in anymore. So we can put in Squelcher. Maybe we play a Braid, but I feel like a Braid is so bad. We could play like a blue bounce spell, I guess. We could play like an Into the Floodmaw. I just like don't like. I don't think we're like if there's ever a turn CRK where we're like not playing a Welder turn 1 or an Engineer turn 1, isn't that like bad? So like, how are we gonna play Spell Pierce or Consign or those kind of cards? Like those have just not lined up in a way that makes sense. And it could have been variants where we like didn't end up with a spot where it actually worked, but Squelcher, a Braid. I have Dismembers. I definitely need to have Dismembers. I don't really want to have to get red mana. No. I just can't fit those cards. Like, if this stupid Welder package is 100 million cards long. 11, like, these Welders and these Engineers, like, make it so you can't play good cards. You have to play them instead. Like, you would have to be cutting stock ups for trainers, which is, I think, not very good. You could. You could, like, cut stock up for 4 trainer and play, like, Lorien Revealed for, like, maybe play 1 flame, but, like, is anyone going to argue that trainer is a better card here than a stock up? Like, I don't think you are going to argue that. One of the reasons trainer is so good is it gets picked up with PO, and also, like, we're playing, you know, no creatures in the trainer decks. This deck has another pile of creatures, so... I think I like this Squelchers, Dismembers, these things. Like, maybe it's too many traps, but the traps look like, you know, it all kind of looked like it kind of worked. What else did I have? I mean, maybe I could play another portable hole. Oh, the fact that we have only 1 portable hole main now is kind of bad. I think this means that we need to have this Lorien Reveal be a chain. Is a chain better than Into the Floodmaw? I don't know that it is. I kind of feel like it isn't, actually. But, like, is Into the Floodmaw really what we want to play? See, this is why I wanted to play 2 portable holes in the first place, is because I want to just have, like, maximum answer. Sync is just, like, so bad. It doesn't cast anything in this deck, is the problem. And it's 3 mana. Like, it's just so bad in this deck. I don't think Sync is good, but it would help a little bit. Like, the fact that Sync doesn't actually, like, cast the spells you want to cast is a huge issue. In PO, like, it casts Stock Up, PO, and Trainer. In this deck, it's only casting Cam and Stock Up, and that's, like, not really what you want. So it's, like, not great. Yes, we've already made the Tinker version of the deck, Bob. We're trying to make the Lurrus of the deck now. I have a video on my YouTube channel where we go 5-0 with the Tinker version. I just, like, don't think the Tinker version is better. Like, the biggest upgrade is because these engineers become a lot better because you can go Welder, Engineer, Tinker, Welder, Engineer, Citadel into the yard and put the Citadel in play, which is actually quite good in Vintage. Unlike Legacy, who they decided that was not good enough, and I kind of agree. It's just too many lands, and you don't have access to Sensei Stop. Untimely malfunction. Well, untimely malfunction is not a instant, right? That's a sorcery. Or which was the untimely malfunction? So Abrade does two things. It kills Null Rod and it kills Archon of Emeria and Clarion Conqueror. It is an instant. No. So this doesn't kill creatures. So no, Abrade is a split card that kills Null Rod, Archon of Emeria, and Clarion Conqueror. And then maybe I just put like an Into the Floodmaw in the board then. I don't really want to put it Into the Flood. What was the hell was in my board in the 5-0 chat? It was all of the stupid Tinker targets. 1 Tormod's Crypt, 2 Consign, Into the Floodmaw, Needle, Pyro, Lantern, Trap. I mean, having some Pyros is probably good because we can bring them in against Frog and we won't hate ourselves. And we have red mana, so like we can probably play Pyro instead and go down to 2 Trap here. I don't know if these Squelchers are actually good, but this seems like a pretty reasonable way to go about it. So, you know, here's another option for how to build this deck. So to review, we have Tinker version here. Doesn't have to have Arkham's Astrolabe. It's possible those Arkham Astrolabes were like not very good. That's probably one of the best places you can maybe change up this build. But because there's a lot, this is like very low toolbox, very high power. And then this was like extremely high toolbox, way more resiliency with Lurrus and Oswald playing through, but maybe a bit too susceptible of a mana base to try to be playing this 5-color stuff. And then here is our version where you lose out on your best sideboard cards in Swords of Plowshares and Portable Hole, which we boarded in more than any card, more than any cards in the entire entirety of the tournament. We boarded in those white cards that were in our sideboard. So, yeah, we have one. We have a top. We have that. You have to have you have to have a one at least. I don't know how many you need to have is a question. It's certainly a question. You only get like so many slots here and you can only do so many things. So those are all different ways you can approach it. I know that today's event went not great. We went 2-4, which is basically our worst challenge in months, but I don't know that it was incredibly indicative of our deck. I will say that I think the 5-0 was pretty fraudulent. It was a little bit more of a high roll situation, and this was a bit more akin to what you will normally fare against in Vintage. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I will probably still try to play a couple more of these cam decks, but I think they're really fragile. And while it's a powerful combo, Welder is just not very good in Vintage these days. The minute you get your first Welder Bowmastered, it is a nightmare. Which is another reason to play Lurrus, so you can bring back your Welders. Either way, the showcase is next weekend, so we will be back to trying to play like a very serious build of some kind of combo deck for next Sunday. But we will have a Wednesday night brewing session with some kind of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles card, and then a Saturday, I think a Saturday challenge as well. It's likely I'll stream the Saturday challenge as well, but maybe that one will be more oriented towards... Oh, wait, Saturday is the showcase. And there's a New York paper event on Sunday. I see. Don't know 100%. So, yeah, so it'll be Wednesday night will be a brew, and then Saturday will be the showcase. So, either way, more vintage content on this YouTube channel every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'll see you then.